Wolfie
Yo,
on the docket, man. We're gonna talk some NBA, little NHL. We broke
yeah,
camp. Then we gonna
yeah.
get into some goats
Let's
from the
do it.
AFC South. Here we go, y'all.
Turn it up, Gino.
And good day, everyone. It's a noon day. It's a hot day. I
I
probably
didn't use my
wherever you
AK
are.
today. It's
It's
a good
hot.
day.
Today was a good day. Hey, man. You mentioned you just walked the dog. How hot is it out there, man?
Oh, it's so hot where I'm at right now. I think right now it just hit 95 or something like that degrees. And it's just 9 o'clock right now. It should be about 115 today. It's gonna be pretty darn hot. Yeah.
It's a dry heat. At least that's what they tell you.
Yes, it's dry heat, so there's no humidity. It's not gonna absolutely suffocate me and kill me, but like my sinuses are all dried up. I keep scratching my nose like I'm doing an 8 ball, and uh, it's brutal. Got the fan on me right now, man. It's so that way I don't get like a high electric bill. It's summertime's tough times around here, but we get through it. We get through it.
We get through it. We get through it. Got to muscle up. It's a good time. What we said in the army, it's a good time to get lean. So, if you're gonna go out and work up a sweat. Definitely that time of year. Definitely that time of year.
It is. It
Uh,
is. It is. It is. It is.
speaking of time of the year, Wolfie, the NBA Finals. The NBA Finals. You and I were live last night. We watched the victorious Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Indiana Pacers. You got any thoughts, or as we delve into it a little bit, let's just talk about it, get it out in the open.
Uh, I feel the same way as I did yesterday. Even in the heat of the moment, I just feel like OKC is just that much better. They're just that much better, and I feel like the way if OKC for to lose this series, they have to just kind of fumble it themselves. Like I feel like the ball is in their court, as you would say, and I just think that OKC is just they have ways of blowing them out. They have ways of keeping it close, but like they also have ways of choking it. But it seems like it's either blowing them out, winning those close games, and I feel like while the Pacers have one way of winning it, which is coming down to the fourth quarter, having to make some sort of crazy plays. They have to make every single shot, or at least like 80% of their shots in the fourth quarter to win the game. They can't be missing free throws. Like everything kind of has to go right for Indiana for them to win this series. So I'm not saying it's impossible because things can go right for you and that can happen. But the overall assessment of it all, like just look at it logistically and like who's better and who has greater chance, is without doubt the Thunder. I mean, it's in their court. Like the Thunder has to turn the ball over, miss a lot of shots, while Indiana has to take advantage of those turnovers and make all their free throws. And it seems to me that they know exactly who to foul in certain situations, which is that Mathurin guy, because he's just absolutely atrocious at the free throw line. And they know, like, now that becomes a strategy where it's like, well, when he hits the ball, just foul him. He's probably going to miss. Worst comes to worst, they get a point, which is, a lot work, which is not better than 2 points. So, which they would have got if he took the shot. Exactly. So, I will say this from what I've understood about OKC, and I still stand what I said here, but like OKC's good from what little experience I have of basketball right now is like they're really good at locking you up inside the paint. Like when you're inside that little rectangular thing, right? Once you're inside there, they shut you down. Like it's very hard to get those layups. They do not give you easy shots. I've noticed like they even when you're in they do a good job of that. And if you were like, okay, well then we'll play the 3-point line, they do a good job of adjusting. Like I'll see 4 players out the 3-point line, and there'll be one guy at the in the box, and they will you'll see a player, let's say Siakam, move inside to get into the box. Suddenly, out of nowhere, there's now 2 guys in there. We're not just going to say there's 4 out in the 3-point. They do a good job of adjusting immediately to give support to the guy on the inside. They are doing a phenomenal job of not giving easy shots to the Indiana Pacers. What I will say, they're kind of forcing the corner shots. That's what it is. Like, and those are the hard shots. And so they're like, okay, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us with 3-point shots, with no backboard, having to hit those corner shots. And OKC is just doing a good job of that. And if they keep doing that, where they're good at adjusting when someone breaks through the 3-point line, shutting up and that's how they make it hard on people scoring in the bucket. And I think it's a crazy strategy. I think it's a really good strategy. I think a lot of people should adopt that strategy, because that's exactly how you should approach it. With the new game, with the 3-point game right now, you want to shut that down with what they're doing there. And you also don't want them to beat you with the easy shots on the inside. So it's kind of like, okay, give them the toughest shots, which is the corner shots. There's always going to be holes somewhere. And I think it's very smart to make it, okay, the hardest shot. Make sure the hardest shot is the only shot that they would have a chance of having easy buckets. And I think that's what OKC is doing a very good job of. And if OKC continues to do that, I think they'll win this series in 6. But, like I said, but one last thing, like I said, if everything goes right for the Pacers, they will take advantage of that and they will win the game.
All right.
That's exactly how it has to go.
And their next scheduled game is going to be, it's usually 2 days in between. So we're looking at Thursday night. We have Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday. They're going to play Thursday night again. And that'll be games right now. Oklahoma City leads the series 3-2. To piggyback off what you said, what you're seeing real is classic basketball at its finest. Classic basketball is supposed to be like that. Highly contested in the low post, in the paint, forcing the high percentage shot way outside or the low percentage shot way outside. What happened in the trigger for a lot of this has been the groundbreaking of Steph Curry in making the three so fashionable. But back in traditional days, you didn't want people shooting threes. You don't have the green light shooting threes because it's a low percentage shot. You wanted to play down low in the low post and get those high percentage shots because they're layups or they're dunks or they're cut and goes, give and goes, and screen and rolls. You just want to get the easiest shot you can, and that's why basketball is kind of ruled by 7-footers, 6'11" guys, 6'10" guys, because that's what you traditionally wanted it to be. Some notables last night, man. Chet Holmgren, the little skinny gangly guy. He got his ankle rolled up. I know he's skinny and he's wiry. He looks almost like a scarecrow out there, but he's a tough guy. He's a tough dude, the 7-footer. He had 9 points. Jalen Williams, number 8, had 40 points last. I didn't realize he had 40. And
some people are calling him Scottie Pippen, from what I heard.
Yeah, man. He was it in spades yesterday. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the butter was gonna get 30. He's a walking 30 points. You count on that. But what they did not count on was that 40 points from Jalen Williams. Everybody else was in single digits. Aaron Wiggins came off the bench and put up 14 along with Case and Wallace with his 11. But when you hold everybody else to the mundane task of single digit points, you're expecting to win that game. But on the flip side of it, and here's where it got a little murky, the Indiana Pacers leading all scores was Pascal Siakam. Aaron Naismith had 14. Pascal had 28. But our boy, Tyrese Halliburton, ain't get but 4 points.
Quattro.
And I think he was a 0 at the half, and you depend on that. That's that's like going to a gunfight with a butter knife. You got to have Tyler hitting at least 20, and they lose by 11. It looks like. Usually he's going to give you 20 points, man. But when you hold them to four funky points, we got issues. And there were some turnovers down there, a little bit with strategy because they the Pacers got it. I think it was like 10 minutes and 48 seconds. I wrote it down. 10 minutes and 48 seconds. Our boy, you call him Brock Purdy, but he's a little guy out here, TJ McConnell. He all of, I think, 6 feet, maybe. He was heating up. He had 18 points, but they decided to take him out. He was the catalyst in the little comeback and bringing it to 4 points and making it a tighter game. But I don't know about that one. We're going to scratch our heads on that with a really great coach and Rick Carlisle deciding to take him out, man. I thought he would bring him back in like 2 minutes. It was okay to rest him, but bring him back in. They ain't bring him back in till a lot later. And the fat lady was warming up. Me. Fat lady's about to sing. Y'all better do something. But I'm really excited about this, just to see you get excited and growing the game. And it's a really good game, and it's a really good series for people to cut their teeth on. I know it's not the traditional Boston, LA, New York, Miami, a Texas team, big markets, but it's real good traditional basketball, and they play it just so hard. They just Indiana just got short on their shooting percentages, man. So they couldn't hit the broads. They couldn't hit water in the daggone ocean. They just the ball won't go in. They just want the ball going in. But
I would agree. I want to add to what you're saying there.
Go ahead, bro.
The series, I want to add to that someone made a point I saw on the social media that this series for once, the NBA Finals for once, doesn't have a big star, doesn't have that guy. I understand that Shea Alexander is MVP, but he's not LeBron. He's not the major. He's none of those kind of type of guys. And for once, it's about the team that it is about some sort of one superstar. And it kind of allows me to enjoy the game a lot more, where I'm looking at the entire team itself than just being like, oh, well, look at LeBron being down 3-2. Like, I don't have to – that's not the conversation. Yeah. It's now like, okay, the Thunder and Indiana Pacers, not LeBron and Pacers or whatever. It's like that's what I thought that was an interesting observation by somebody that I saw. And I was like,
it's definitely team-driven, and if I could use this term, it's basketball from a macro point of view and not the micro point of view of, it's star against star. If LeBron loses this, he's down, and
he's not the GOAT anymore.
Yeah, he's not the GOAT. Just looking at good, pure basketball, and we're judging it by teams. We're looking at the coaching decisions. We're looking at strategic things going on in there as a percentage. How are y'all shooting that as a whole? How are you hitting your free throws? We're not just LeBron didn't hit a free throw, or LeBron didn't take.
Well, because that guy's missing free throws, you got to have where's LeBron at? Not carrying him. Like there's still
Jordan wouldn't have did that. Everybody just come in with it.
I really disagree with when people say that this series is boring and stuff like that. Honestly, I've seen NBA Finals before. I'm really enjoying myself with this series, even though my team is not looking better than the one I want to win. But it's just the overall love for the game that's kind of coming out of this series. And a lot of people are hating on it and stuff. And I just like that. I think that's just not fair. But,
I will say, ain't giving it a shot.
Yeah, they're not really giving it a shot. They're just being like, "Oh, where's LeBron?" It's like, dude, come on, just enjoy it. Like, look at the game as itself, right? Yeah. Like it's just the game itself. I want to say one more thing real quick before you move on to the subject. I made a video, a short reacting to this after our live. I made a short reacting to it.
Okay.
Giving Halliburton crap and stuff. And people are like saying, "Oh, but he was hurt." Okay, let's say even before he was hurt, I'm pretty sure he wasn't playing good. Even before he was getting hurt. But let's say that he was hurt, and that's the reason why. If you are hurt and you're going to be a detriment to your team, if you are going to play like shit, okay, because you are hurt, and you don't need to force the issue even. Okay, I understand sometimes when you're hurt, like for example, the Devondre Campbell thing, the 59 number guy, You have no choice to play injured guys because you have no one else to substitute in. So it's the best thing to do. You had McConnell, who was playing like your best player out there, other than Siakam. Okay, and he was like you said, one of the reasons why you guys came back. Then you don't take him out of the game for the injured player that you know is going to play like shit. Like you don't. That doesn't make sense to be like, well, he was hurt. Well, then don't play. Why would you're in the finals? Why would you hinder your team like that? So it's just, I get so frustrated when people are like, oh, he's hurt, and it's like, well, why play? That's just I understand that you want some credit and you want to be part of the W and stuff, but now I'm going to look at you as the reason why we lost the finals instead of actually winning it. I understand you had that clutch whatever play in the first game. I get that, and you had some moments, but we all know that if you have a terrible game like this is going to overshadow whatever greatness you did in that first game with that one last shot that you had. Because now I'm thinking about like what you just did. You may have just cost us the finals by taking out McConnell.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Hot take, ladies and gentlemen. Hot take. You heard it here first. Wolfie said you may have costed us the game.
10 minutes and 30 seconds, whatever it was, 48 seconds, and you take him out. You and I both thought, dude, like you brought it up. You were like, it's probably like just 2 minutes or something like that. I'm like, yeah, man, it's got to be like 2 minutes, man. There's no way you take out the guy who's the reason why you came back and is the reason why you're hot right now and you potentially could have win this game. There's no way you take him out. He's going to have a break, and that's it. Absolutely not. They force the issue. They shove Halliburton in your face, and it becomes not what the Halliburton. It becomes where the hell is Halliburton? That's what it became. And I absolutely that I feel like that is the pivot point in the Indiana Pacers possibly lose. Like if they lose on Thursday, I'm going to think about that moment of choosing Halliburton over McConnell. That's what I'm going to think about.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that would have been a big detriment. It's going to turn out, and these decisions in some games will lead to that next game and say, hey, if you wouldn't have made A and B wrong, hey, C and D is going to be messed up now too, and these can all follow each other. Let me switch gears a little bit and let's talk NHL finals.
Hockey, let's go, baby.
Hockey. How are you feeling about this 3-2 series? You got me watching the daggone Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. I know you're not a big Panther fan, but they're looking pretty good out there, Wolfie. They're looking pretty commanding, if I may say so myself. It won't even close that last game. I think that was Sunday night.
Saturday is 5-2. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
5-2. Yeah. They tried to make it a game a little bit at the end, but hey, man, they just put the gas on, man. They're skating around, flying around, and they're physical. They're being very physical. Yeah. They're manhandling. It's not close like a couple of the other games where it's saying we're Florida and we're here for all the smoke.
Yeah, they described that team as like the Eagles of hockey this year. They're just so physical, and if they do that, they beat you methodically with their strategy or their effort even. Like we saw that Marchand goal where it was right off the face-off. Immediately Marchand goes for the puck while the Edmonton Oilers are kind of like slagging, just being like, oh, we're going to get the puck, whatever. Absolutely not. Marchand just comes in with the effort, grabs the puck, has a breakaway, scores that goal, and it really kind of deflated the Edmonton Oilers a little bit. Yeah. And they just took off from there. The Panthers are just so much better than the Oilers. It's kind of like with the Indiana Pacers and stuff like that. It's really just like OKC is just better, and it's like okay, the Panthers though versus the Oilers, man, there's like a huge gap. Like the Oilers need so much luck. They need a lot of luck to go their way. They need a puck. They need puck luck to really go their way.
Puck luck. There it is.
And
the quote of the day.
And I don't know how much luck you could possibly have. Connor McDavid, your number one shooter, your number one goal scorer, supposed to be the best offensive player in the league, has 1 goal in 5 games, is absolutely absurd. You need to figure. I don't care if Barkov is the best center in the NHL. uh, even if
Yeah,
he's that
Brendel.
good, he's shutting down. If he's shutting down Connor McDavid, that's a big deal. You're not going to win. You're not going to win the series if your best player is not scoring goals or not even getting a lot of assists either. One
Yeah.
goal, like one, I think it's like 1 or 2 assists. He's not doing well, and so I just think that you need to get him going. He needs to start scoring and take command of this. That's the way it's only going to happen. But the Panthers, from the defense to goalie, Bob Roski is a top 5 goalie in the NHL. They have one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the NHL, the Panthers do. And on offense, they have a center that's a two-way forward, which means he can play offense and defense pretty well. He's really good at offense. He's really good at defense, but not like elite at one or the other. He's a two-way forward at center. And then you got 2 good goal scorers and Marchand, who knows how to shoot the puck if you give him an opportunity.
Marchand looks good.
Yeah, so this team is like as if you literally have the Eagles team with no holes anywhere. And it's just like you absolutely everything's going to have to go your way. One player is going to have to slack on the Eagles for you to find a hole. Eagles on the Panthers to get through that defense and shoot on Bob Roski. Like I said, who's a top 5 goalie in the NHL. I
seen him score one, man. It looked like he shot the puck from one goal to another. You explained to me that during the final minutes, you can pull the goalie for more help, or as a defensive man, or as a wing down on the other side. But I ain't never seen a shot that long. I know there have been, but in this finals, man, it looked like he shot that thing from Montreal. It just went all the way down through Edmonton, through British Columbia, and scored in the goal. I was like, yeah, you ain't gonna win when stuff like that happening. It's over.
Yeah, they what they say is just fling it. Once you get the puck with 6 men against your 5, once you obtain the puck, just launch it towards the net and try to hope for a goal. At least worst comes to worst, you get an icing, comes back to and then you get a restart on the face-off again and try to potentially just huck the puck down again. Wayne Gretzky doesn't like that strategy. He thinks you should obtain the puck and then try and take it out of the zone and then shoot it. Wayne Gretzky disagrees with that, but statistically it says like this is what you should do. And he's like, screw statistics. I think you should do this. And I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, you get that 6-man in there, man. Sometimes you score. That's how the Panthers scored in overtime last game before, not this one, but the one before that one. They pulled their goalie and it was 6-on-5 and they scored with 30 seconds left and they got the goal and they went into overtime. They lost, but that's the reason why they scored. It's such a dangerous gamble, but it does really help you out a lot. As a player.
I'd say scrap. It just looks so bad. I'd say scrap to go, but sometimes it does work. We're getting a lot of feedback, man. They're in the chat arguing it up about KD, how he beat LeBron, and man, they going back to Dallas days when they had the Miami Heat, and the Miami Heat was supposed to win not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, and got mollywop. Them daggone Mavericks ran them off the field. Rick Carlisle was the coach on that one too. Hey, it does happen, and you know where I stand with Jordan and LeBron. It just really ain't even there. Those of y'all that follow me on Instagram, I picked up something, man, from these 2 guys making an argument, and they said, it's the argument about volume. And they said, do you think Shaquille O'Neal was a better free throw shooter than Steph Curry? And obviously the dude said, no way. It just don't happen like that. He said, for his career, Shaquille O'Neal has more free throws made than Steph Curry. They said take percentage out of it and just look at pure volume. Would you say that Shaquille O'Neal is a better free throw shooter than Steph Curry? And the guy said no. He said, now apply this argument towards LeBron. LeBron may have the career points total, but he is not a better scorer than Michael Jordan. and
Yeah.
that was pretty slick. I like how they did that one. That was okay. I gave him a bell on that one, and I shared it with everybody. That's a pretty sustainable
That
argument.
does that doesn't even I that is just because you've been at the free throws line a lot more because people love to foul you a lot,
Hmm.
so you get a lot more opportunities to
Yes.
make the free throw. But even
Yes.
I know that Shaq is not known. Like the joke is that he can't make free throws.
Yeah.
Like
Shaq is a
that's
career.
literally in Scary Movie 3 where they
Yeah.
joke about you got to make this free throw, Shaq, or you die. And it's just like, and he's just
Yes.
shooting, and keeps missing and missing and missing. He's known for not being
He's a
good at that. I just checked
fifty-one
this
percent. It's 51%, and
51%.
we're gonna be respectful to Shaquille. I made him when I had to. I don't mess around. Don't fake the funk on the nasty dunk when I
Steph
had to.
Curry
But
is 91% at the free
yes,
throw line. And you're
exactly.
saying that a guy with a 51% free throw line is better just because he has more? That story, as I said, one statistic does not tell you the entire story. You need multiple statistics to accumulate evidence.
Exactly.
And if one guy has 91%, the other one's 51%, the story that tells me is that Shaq took a lot more shots to free throw
Yes.
line than Curry
And
ever
and
has.
and LeBron played a lot more games than Michael Jordan. But in Michael Jordan's time, his percentage of going to the finals is 100%, while Shaq may have gone to 10. I mean, why uh, 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 LeBron may have gone to 10. That's the equivalent of him only coming away with 4, which is 40%. If we go with the percentage, that's how they were making the argument for the LeBron versus Jordan. Yet just another thing. Yet just another.
Yeah, that's
Um,
I can't believe someone actually said that's crazy, dude.
well, he was formulating the argument from that, just pure volume. Shaq has more made free throws than Steph, and a lot of people's argument with LeBron is he has more points than Jordan, but
Mm.
that doesn't necessarily mean you were a greater player. And that's the parallel. I don't want to lose sight of how they made the argument. I just thought it was something cool. What did they say here? Who got knocked out? Heck, Steph, if you want to, them rings are getting knocked out. LOL. Okay, all right. I got Ty Austin in the chat. Kylie Young says, I get instantly heated when that bum's name comes up in comparison to top tier NBA greats. I think he's talking about LeBron.
LeBron isn't great. That's
LeBron is
crazy.
great. He's great. He is great. He is great. Just
You can't
he ain't the greatest to me.
you can't let the conversation of who's the greatest blind you from greatness, right? That's crazy. That he's still one of the greatest basketball players
Of
ever.
course. Yes.
To
Yes.
say that he's not one of the greats is actually wild. That is a wild
Yeah.
take. Just because you don't
Yeah.
like somebody doesn't mean they don't deserve their accolades and what they've done and their achievements they've done and what they've done for basketball and what they've done in basketball. That doesn't get
Yeah.
erased. But if you're talking about GOAT on GOAT, then that becomes suddenly, okay, that guy's not better than the GOAT. Well, that guy sucks. You can't do that. That's not fair. That's like someone's argument that Joe Montana's not better than Tom Brady. Suddenly Joe Montana's not one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Absolutely not. It's just no, man. You can't do that.
It just might not
He is
be
a
your
top
cup
tier
of tea.
great.
And I came across some on Twitter too, man. I said, Angel Reese had a double double, and she averages for her career a double double in the WNBA. She was an All NBA participant last year, and she got votes for Rookie of the Year. But obviously, Caitlin Clark is it. And shout out to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark hit 3 threes in 45 seconds over the weekend to help her team win. And it was her coming back off a 19-day hiatus. I think it was because of injury. So I say Angel Reese she can ball. She's a good player. I give you, no, she ain't. She garbage. She ain't nothing compared to Caitlin Clark. I didn't say that. I just said averaging a double double is a good achievement for a basketball player. And if you're averaging that, you're still a good player. Now, are you the greatest scorer ever? Is she Cheryl Miller who put up 100 points in the game? No. Is she Caitlin Clark who can score 9 points in 45 seconds. No, but still a good player. She playing a different position and she does what she does, averaging a double-double. And the fastest player
more
to get
defense
is
than
30 double-doubles. I'm sorry.
She's supposed to be more of a defense person, right?
She's more defense, rebounds, and she gets she ain't gonna shoot it from far. You got to go ahead and get up under the rim and get those second chance garbage points.
Like I said
a lot of people really hate her. A lot of people just can't stand her because of her, clashing with Caitlin Clark, and it gets into this whole thing. But don't blow up somebody else's candle out to make yours brighter. Somebody can still be bright. It's the same brightness. You don't have to do it to make yours brighter. I
have a thing where, like, if I don't watch the sport, then I shouldn't have an opinion on it. Like, I don't watch the sport. I don't know enough about what's happening in the WNBA. I do hear the social media talk. I do hear the Angel Reese hate. I see the Caitlin Clark hate. I see the Caitlin Clark love. I see the Angel Reese love. But, like, I don't watch it enough to be able to be like, yeah, she's actually better, or she's actually good, or she's bad. I can look at the stats numbers, which is true. Like, double is good and stuff. But, like, if I don't watch the sport, I don't feel like I should have. This is just me personally. I don't try to invade that space.
I respect it.
Because I feel like I'd be just talking out of my ass and being like, well,
yeah, just
for me personally.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable is what I'm trying to say. Like, talking about
if you come at me about who's the best water polo player, I'm done. I don't know these water polo people. I don't know what I guess it's Johnny Newman somebody, but if I'm familiar with it and have followed it a little bit, I followed them in college. The WNBA and ladies basketball in particular can be as exhilarating, as exciting in the last, I think, 2, 3, or 4 years, as much as some dry NBA games. It is hard watching the Washington Wizards play, the Carolina Charlotte Bobcats, man. It's some stuff. I'd rather see a good WNBA game with Caitlin playing Angel Reese's team, which is the Chicago. I think she's with Chicago and Indiana. Caitlin's in Indiana as well. When they play, I watch up. Or when she plays the New York Liberty, they got some good basketball players on there. I have to know a little bit of what I'm talking about. I agree with you totally. Don't get out here winging it. You got to know a little something.
Unless you pay me to like Stephen A. and you're just telling me like, okay, here's millions of dollars, need you to wing it. Sure, I'll do it. Like, I'll get my opinion.
Yeah, here you go. Today in chess, I felt like so and so was real. She wants me to read the comment before the rings. LOL. Who is to read the comment before the rings?
I want to say Cleo says obviously Wolfie can't read. It says Wolfie obviously can't read. Wolfie.
None
he's talking about the top tier GOAT thing. If you don't think that, and that's what I meant. If you don't think LeBron's a top tier great, that is just pure hate, bro. He is a top tier great. He is a top 5 player all time. Like that is about top tier great. It's like top 5, even top 10. There's so many basketball players. You could argue top 10 is all time top tier great quarterbacks, players, basketball players. Like, if you don't think he's a top 10, I think that's wild. If you don't think he's a top 5, I think that's crazy. But if you don't even think he's a top tier great, dude, that's insane to me. I think that's crazy. That's so dumbfounded. That is like Skip Bayless hate. That is like some Skip Bayless shit right there. So, like, I understand that you don't like LeBron.
Yeah.
You cannot say that he's not a top tier great. He's literally in the greatest of all time conversation with the top guy. Not saying he is, but not everyone. He's not top 10. Tarrerdome, help me out. I usually.
Oh no. We can't go there.
That's crazy. That's wild.
He no, he isn't, Kali.
He's not top 10. That's crazy.
He doesn't fit on Kali's Mount Rushmore. Yeah, Kali, he's been consistent. I will say that Kali is not feeling LeBron. He is consistently hating on LeBron James. Ain't no doubt about it. That's not a fan. That ain't a fan.
This dude hates LeBron, bro. That's
LeBron
insane,
isn't
bro.
even
That's
the greatest
insane.
small forward. Got a lot of points. He's if he ain't the greatest, he high up there. He's got to be high up there. I will say this: if it's like the Family Feud, and they say we polled 100 basketball players, top 5 answers on the board. Here's the question: who is one of the greatest players ever to play the game? I think LeBron's name would be bing up there. 4,
yeah, at
you
the
know,
very
4,
least,
5,
4
something
or
like
5.
that. Yeah,
and a lot of people have him at 2. That blows my mind, dude. That I don't love Patrick Mahomes, but I respect his talent. I have him as the number 2, second greatest quarterback of all time. But I don't love Patrick Mahomes. I still respect his talent though and what he's done for the team. Like I don't know, man.
Patrick Mahomes, but I got him 4. I got a 4, and he's 4 with a bullet. If he goes and pulls off more championships, the man already got 3 rings. And he's early into this. He's not 30 yet.
Early in the season, yeah.
So the writing's on the wall. He's rising with a bullet. The only thing Stephen A. Smith is really good at is making fun of the cowgirl. Man, he gives Dallas all kinds of gripe, man. Nobody can do it like Stephen A. Smith. They are accident waiting to happen. Just watch. And he sits back and boy, next Monday he's coming in with a cigar and a cowboy hat, talking that junk, man. He trolls Dallas hard. I agree with Larry. Was no MF and Larry Legend was the truth. You ain't gonna get no, I know my boy Kylie Young will agree, as well as Rod Cali. He might not, because he don't like to give Celtics no credit, but I gotta, as somebody who had to face those Celtics and Larry Legend, and just hearing the other people talk about Larry, man, I watched Larry win a 3-point competition and didn't even take his warm-up off. And when he showed up, Wolfie, he said, which one of y'all here for second place? you wanted no smoke from Larry Legend, man. He was bad and taller than people think.
A lot of people said that he was based on the show. There's a show about him, about Magic Johnson. It's not a player, an actor plays Larry Bird. He's a douche in that. Larry Bird, the character.
It's called Winning Time. It's on Winning
Time. Yeah, I haven't seen the show, but I've seen the clips of it. And Larry's a total douche in that freaking show. And I've heard that he was so competitive and he was a total dick, and he was, serious about him playing basketball.
I ain't want to mess with him. With him, man.
So Khalil's wrong. I do know something about Larry Bird.
What? Mess with him.
What? And I know he played for the Celtics. So what?
See, and that's the he was a Celtic. I tell you what, man, the course of a lot changed in 1984, Wolfie. There was a kid coming out. No, it was 1986. It was the NBA draft, 1986. Len Bias was a guy at University of Maryland. Len Bias was they've made a 30 for 30. I'm not gonna go into it too much, man, but Len Bias was Jordan level. When you watched ACC basketball, you watch Maryland and you watch UNC, it was Len Bias coming out with the wins a few times over Michael Jordan. This is how bad he was. He gets drafted by the Celtics, and within, I think it was 2 days, he went back down to University of Maryland, tried some cocaine or some crack, and he died. If Len Bias would have lived and he went to those Boston Celtics in 86 with Larry Bird, McHale, DJ, and Parrish, Jordan doesn't get his rings. Jordan doesn't get as many rings, right? And the Lakers are looking up at the Celtics for the next 10, 15 years. That's how important that was in the shift, in the paradigm shift of this kid dying. Just a real tragic thing that happened, man. Snuffed out 2 days after he's drafted by the Boston Celtics, man. He was coming to rookie camp, and usually the vets don't go to rookie camp. But Larry Bird said, I will be at rookie camp to play with Len Bias. They said, Larry, you don't have to go. No, that's Len Bias. I'm coming to play with Len Bias. And the kid dies, man. It could have been real different. Who they got? Russell, Jordan, Kareem, Wilt, Bird, Magic, Oscar, Duncan, Kobe, LeBron. That's Ellison's list.
So I just saw, I think not only was Khalil said this, but someone else said this. I think I could be wrong. I think it was just Khalil. So that Larry Bird's career was cut short because of a back injury. He played 13 seasons. That's a good amount of time, especially in a physical league.
It was pretty good, but he in that
cut short.
Yeah, he had more on the bone, man. He could have. You got to think of an NBA player. He goes through these phases, like his rookie year when he's ascending. Then it's going to get to this. All right, you in your prime for 4 or 5 years. Then you're coming down a little bit out of your prime. You're a name, but you're coming off your prime a little bit. And then you got, just go around the league, get in where you can, come off the bench. It could have been a few more points accumulated with that, but he missed his. Okay, Larry, you're not starting anymore. I'm off the bench to give us a spark every now and again. That's what he means. It was kind of cut short. It was another 4 or 5 years on there, particularly with his game and how deadly he was.
I was gonna say he was 35. Outside. I think that's just his age. I think it's just his age, father time. He was probably still good at the game, but 35. That's pretty old for a basketball player, right?
But he could have got a lot more. Well, you look at LeBron. LeBron feel like he can play till he's 45.
Yeah, honestly,
which is a statistical anomaly. Yeah, he's good. It be basketball players, man. You just know that Larry got cut short a little bit. He could have had me, and even Magic got cut way short. Magic was 32 or 33, I think, when he left the game for obvious reasons, HIV. It was November. I think it was November 6th. I came home from the dorm, man, from the student union, walking to the dorm. They ran and got me outside. They know I was the biggest Magic fan ever. And they said, man, Magic Johnson got AIDS. He gonna die. I was like, oh, come on, man. For real. I remember the day, man.
That cutting him short there, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that was a hard day. Wait, when LeBron get that 6 seed to a chip like Hakeem did. All right. Hakeem, the dream.
But Hakeem is literally, from what I recall, is like also talked about as one of the top 5 greatest players.
You got to throw Hakeem, and I'm not going to throw him in. I'm not going to say he not. the dream shake is real.
I don't know. I think that LeBron hate is just that's just I think people are just way too blinded by that debate where it's like they develop that animosity towards LeBron to say that he's not this guy. Like, okay, I've played devil's advocate with you, debating whether or not Jordan and stuff like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But I believe that Jordan is the greatest of all time. Like, I do believe that. But I would easily, like, I wouldn't have to second guess it, that LeBron is a top 5 player all time. Like, what he did for the game of basketball, his longevity is elite. He played elite every single year. Like, this dude had a great year every single year for 20 plus years or 20 years, wherever it is. And yeah, I understand that he lost a lot of NBA finals, but he still got to the NBA finals. That's not something to like. It's not LeJordan great where he gets to finals, he just dominates, he wins every single time. But like the fact that he got there so many times and he did actually win some,
Yeah.
I think that's not something to say that's a negative, because you still won playoff games. You still won your conference championships. That is still an accolade. That is still an accomplishment. That is still great.
A lot of points. Somebody scored all the points. Somebody scored all them points, man. I don't like Carl the Mailman Malone. I can't stand Carl the Mailman Malone. I can't.
Who's that? I never heard
Carl
of that.
Mailman Malone. Carl the Mailman Malone was who LeBron passed on his way to getting the most points for an NBA player. I think he was second behind Kareem. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Carl was really up there. He played for the Utah Jazz for a number of years, and he's not a good dude, man. I never not embraced in the community, but I gotta respect the fact that the man was a scorer. He was truly. It was him and John Stockton out there at the Utah Jazz, and I know what it is to just not like somebody, but you gotta go ahead and say, "Oh yeah, that mug is a walk-in 30 points easy." Yeah, that's how you got it. Wait, Wolfie doesn't know Carl the Mailman Malone? You never heard of Carl the Mailman Malone? The Mailman.
Well, no. Now that you put it out there, I'm starting to get familiar with him. But when he first said his name, I'll admit I did not recognize his name. But now I'm starting to like regulate. That's another thing where it's like his name isn't correlated enough to, like, because I didn't see anybody put him in his top 10 of all time, right? Is he a top 10 all time player?
I can see how they would make the argument. He's not in mine, but
when you talk about,
but you got to be. Well, I know this statistically, he was number 2 overall. It was Kareem, it was Mailman, then it was Jordan, and LeBron has ascended to get all of it. I gotta, you gotta somehow say, hey, somebody got all these points, y'all.
like I know who Larry Bird is. I know Jabbar is. I know a lot of the greats, and so like it just goes to show you how great these certain players are based on how that conversation is talked about. But I've heard Stockton. I've heard Stockton.
Stockton was giving Carl the Mailman Malone all of those points. Stockton's assist record is due to giving that thing to Carl the Mailman Malone all this time. Hey, Miss Tanisha, how you doing? She got her Letterman jacket on. I see you. I'm still jealous of that Letterman jacket. I'm gonna get the Letterman jacket. I came, and I had mine, gave mine to my girl in high school. That thing gone. It ain't never coming back. Tanisha, never let your girl wear your Letterman jacket. If she's gonna break up, she's not gonna get it back. Little tip to your high schoolers out there: get ready to play some good ball.
You could tell the story of the NBA without Stockton and Malone. Depends on what kind of story do we got? Do we have the extended cut, the director's cut? Then maybe, but
they didn't win any championships
with them not in there.
This is where you see Stockton and Malone. They were getting to the finals, but this is who they fold, Mr. Michael Jordan. It was Michael in the Last Dance when Michael hits that last shot to win it in Game 6. He's playing Carl the Mailman Malone and John Stockton. That's who Mailman was. But he never won a championship, so that's why the ring is the thing. You got to be winning. You got to be winning. Just like he lies about her job. Who's that? Shell line. Okay. She ain't got no job, Tommy. Y'all in the chat doing some other stuff, man. Let me move on to the next topic. Where my music at to move on to the next topic? Here you go. Transition sound. All right, Wolfie, what we got here? We're gonna talk camp notes. Camp notes. I'm talking about some football. There's a broke camp. Wolfie, I want to get your take on who was some of the standouts for the mini camp and the mandatory OTAs, or the mandatory mini camp, I should say, and the previous OTAs. Now that we broke camp, they ain't gonna come back until training camp. That's gonna be sometime late July, I believe. I don't have the exact dates. Red Jet Shell, do some super producing and tell me some
I
dates.
don't think we have the exact. I don't think we actually have an exact date yet.
It's usually about 40 days off, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen it posted or anything like that. But
We should know. We should know by July 10th, something like that. Somewhere before then, somewhere in that area,
okay,
rural area. Because I think last year it was also some early July we found out. But yeah, but at least you know it's going to be at least somewhere between the 20th and like the 25th or something like that, or 28th or something. It's going to be like that for sure.
looking at my Niner news here, they talking about we have signed our draft choice, Mr. C.J. West, officially. That's a big deal there. Feeling good, looking good, Mortimer. Feeling good, Billy Ray. Um, that's from Trading Places there. 5 things to know about Bryce Huff. I heard some good things about Bryce Huff, man. He was getting off. He was getting there. They're pretty excited about this guy who wasn't a rookie. He's not a rookie. He's been in the league. I think it was 4 years. Most notably is 2023 season. I can't remember. Whatever he was with Robert Saleh, he had a really, really good year. Double digits in sacks. Went to Philadelphia and things didn't quite. It was like Luther Vandross's curl. It just didn't quite. So they hoping to bring him into the fold, man. And Chris Forrest, not Chris Forrest. I'm sorry. Who's our resident defensive line coach? Chris Kucerik.
Yeah, Chris Kucerik.
He seemed from my reports, he seemed to be really excited with how Bryce Huff gets off his how he gets off the line of scrimmage. There was some B-roll I wanted to get into a little bit, but go over a few players that you were hearing good things about, and then we'll get into the not so good things. So
the good here, without a doubt, the number one player that gets talked about the most, that people are praising the most. There's a couple. There's like a top 5 list. I have a whole list here because there was a lot of good in this training camp. There was a lot of good. So if I don't mention somebody, it's just because this person out of all the good was like this top was the best. So don't get twisted with that. I would definitely say Jordan Watkins, our 4th round rookie that we got with the 147th pick. Or was it? No, that was Jordan James. We got him with the 138th pick. That's right. We got Jordan Watkins, the 138th pick out of Ole Miss. This guy has been apparently outstanding. He's out there playing with the ones as a rookie right now. And apparently him and Brock Purdy are having the craziest connection. His routes apparently have been crisp. He's been burning green. Well, he's been burning green. He's been going good against Lenore, our top corners. This guy looks like he's ready and polished to start day 1. We'll see what he's like, obviously, with pads on. We all know pads is a different game, it's a different situation. But if we're talking about mandatory minicamp and OTAs and who's the best, the number one player that's talks about the most just how good this rookie's performing. And everyone's just absolutely from Larry Krueger, Grant Cohn, David Lombardi, Guy Haberman, you name it, has thrown Jordan Watkins as the number 1 star in this camp. And that is crazy to say with all these greats that we have out there. I know that Fred didn't participate. George Kittle didn't participate. He did like the one-on-ones and things like that, but not participate in the 909-77. So some of these names aren't going to be mentioned, but like Jordan Watkins has looked absolutely. He's the number 1 guy. And then my honorable mentions for the number 1 good is Nick Martin. I've heard Nick Martin is just really outperforming what the expectations for this player. He's looking like better than a 3rd round pick. He's actually like a 2nd or 1st rounder. Dude's fast. He's instinctual. He's soaking up the knowledge he's getting from Fred and the coaching staff. Like people have this is the danger of talking about certain rookies and certain players coming out of minicamp. little to no expectation because you have no idea what they're going to be. From Jordan Watkins to Nick Martin, they are hyping these players up where I'm expecting them to start day one, and I'm expecting them to do. That's how much.
Yeah, we gotta be careful of that. They are rookies. We don't quite know, but given how they're talking about it, I can understand why you would think that.
So I think that Jordan Watkins and Nick Martin, they're building up this hype where it's just like, dude. And then I have a whole list of players that are good, so I'm trying to like really bring it down. Demarcus Robinson's look good. Jacob Cowing, I've heard Jacob Cowing's taking a crazy step forward.
Heard he put on a little muscle. He getting into. He was working with Brock in the summer.
Yeah,
and that's always a good sign. Never gonna turn that down.
Exactly. So Jacob Cowing deserves some love there. Free safety was a bit of a concern, but it looks like Richie Grant is, from what I've heard, is playing amazing. Like not just good, but I've heard Richie Grant has gotten this scheme down really well. Robert Saleh loves him. I've heard a lot of love for Richie Grant at that free safety spot. Austin Pleasance, an offensive tackle.
Oh, that's your
he's
guy.
A depth guy, and that's my guy.
Yeah.
Someone I believed in from day one when we got him. And he's looking apparently absolutely amazing. So I love that. And then last one to really kind of, like I said, I have a whole list, but I'm going to bring my last one here. I said like 5 names with my last one. Derek Canteen. Derek Canteen. Apparently he's a 6-year college player. He's undrafted, and apparently he's been playing outstanding. Like he's playing really good. He's probably going to make this team, and he's looking like a really good story for the 49ers. I believe he had an interception. He's doing a lot of good coverages, and when Dave Lombardi, Grant Cohn, Larry Krueger, everyone else kind of agrees with the same thing, they're spitting hot fire because they're all different personalities. They all look at things differently, and when they all say the same thing, that's probably what happened.
It's a consensus.
They're all saying it. Yeah, so all of them are saying that Derek Canteen was amazing, and if he plays as good as he did with pads on, he's going to make this team as an undrafted corner, and that I think that's actually really cool to hear. I'm actually excited about that.
That is excellent. That is excellent to hear. Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need. I'm hearing primarily the same thing. Some wonderful things about Cowing coming back in. Austin Pleasance, I'm hearing really good things about that. Nick Martin's been flying around. It's going to be a bit of a fight whether he's going to play the Sam or the Will, and where that's going to really take precedence is with the development of Winters. And I was
another good one.
Really excited about Winters, as well as we had another linebacker named Graham. I wasn't ever a big DFF guy. DFF looked just so stupid to me, but they just was sold on DFF. Demetrius Flanagan fouls, but he just ain't do it for me. And the thing that really gives me hesitation about Winters is the fact that he couldn't take the job from what was that guy's name?
Devondre Campbell.
Yeah, Devondre. If you
to be fair, D. Winters is more of a Fred Warner type, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, if you couldn't start over that dude, I'm a little hesitant, but I'm hearing good things about Nick, man, and that'll be a welcome thing. My concern a little bit, man, is with the soft tissue injuries. Ricky Pearsall to get hurt a lot, man. And I know it's just training camp, y'all. I know it's OTAs and this stuff. Right now, we're in June, but I don't like keep hearing about his hamstring, his groin, and he got alibi fired last year. No pun intended, because he was shot, and I do get that. But do y'all remember subsequent to him getting shot, he was hurt and he came to camp when they had the blue shirt. He had the blue jersey on, which you not allowed to hit the guys with the blue jersey. It was just a little something Tarrerdome notice. Y'all keep your eye on Ricky Pearsall to get a little banged up every now and again. Who else? Larry Kruger said that Chris Kusuric, not Chris Kusuric, let me flip it back. Chris Forrester is really hard on our like 7th round pick, the guy out of Iowa. Is that Chris Connolly?
Connor Colby.
Connor Colby. Yeah, he's hard on him. And this is a coaching trick, or not a coaching trick, but kind of inside baseball. You give your attention to the guys you believe in a little bit. Beware of the guy who doesn't get any correction, doesn't get coached hard at all. They don't view you as having the time or the effort. They don't view your talent as worthy of giving them their time, attention, and effort. When they're not talking to you at all and they don't even bother with you and you're not getting any reps, beware. But I'm hearing good things. He's been coaching them really hard. He's been getting on them, and he may not start. We already got Ben Barch in there notionally as that left guard replacing Aaron Banks, who is going out here and making some big money. I don't know how.
Backers, yeah.
Yeah, so it's tempered me a little bit. I'm not ready to make that incredible, we will be a top 5 offensive line thing. I'm not ready to go there, but
thank you.
But if Banks, I gotta consider this though, Wolfie. If Banks is making a bag and our backup tackle is making a bag and he's going to Kansas City, it kind of lowers the curve for what you should expect from your offensive line or line play as an entity itself. When I see those guys, even McGlinchey, when I see McGlinchey going and making a bag in Denver, I'm like, well, maybe I'm asking for too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Maybe offensive line is like really tough for them or something, because we know what we gave away to Denver. We know what we gave away to where's Banks going? He's going Green Bay, right?
Went to Green Bay. Moore went to Kansas City. Yeah.
And these is decent teams. Denver, Green Bay, the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're getting like our guys who couldn't make it. That's saying a little bit. That's saying a little bit, Wolfie. Maybe we need to temper our expectations a little bit. But hearing good things there. I like what you said about Richie Grant, and we're gonna need some good safety help, man. We really are, because we are banged up. Pause in that at safety. Upton Stout is looking stout. Pardon the pun. No, pun intended. Stout's looking stout. He's moving around. He's a baller, man. He's a tough guy. They did an expose on him on ESPN, and I seen his dad. His dad, he's got that dad bod, and he gets on him just like kind of like I would. And looking at him at Western Kentucky, which wasn't a big major D1 school, but he's a scrappy grinder. He's a grinder. He's a dog, and it might be a little bit undersized, man, but it ain't the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Get on out there and cover you some slots, young man, and do some wonderful things and be physical. And you too will be a productive part of this defense.
Well, Quan Williams, he was about the same size as Upton Stout, and he was phenomenal as a slot corner for us. So I think he can do it too. And he's kind of that's a good comp, I feel like, for Upton Stout, because he kind of has that aggressiveness. He's not afraid to tackle. He'll blitz if he has to. Like Upton Stout really, like, once I can't remember who gave that comparison, but someone did. I love that comparison, not just because of the size thing, but just because of what he does physically as well as Quan Williams did. I think we got potentially our new Quan Williams. So I think Upton Stout's a good pick here. I do think that from what I'm hearing about Upton Stout is absolutely nothing at all, in the sense of like nothing bad. So like no one's throwing the ball his way. And if no one's throwing the ball his way, that means he's doing something right.
That's that he's doing. He's sticking like glue. Getting to the, and speaking of which, getting to the not so great stuff. Mac Jones is struggling a little bit. He'll make some completions, but I have to temper in the expectation. New offense, trying to feel your way around, and practice is where you're supposed to make your mistakes. So when I hear, he threw an interception here, we got to watch that stat practices, because they could be working on a play, and here's something from my days in school. We would practice, and we would have something called a practice All-American. A practice All-American plays defense, and he may be up against the starting offense, and the starting offense is working on a particular play. Coach Jarvis or, Coach Hayes or one of my former coaches, Coach Garrison, would be implementing a new play. And we would walk it through first. He said, all right, ready. And he just wants to see it. And then we'll ratchet it up a little bit and say, okay, let's go half speed on this. Okay, this is live here, guys. This is live. Strap it on, strap it up, pause. And you would go and see the defense done seen the play 3 times in a row. So the practice All-American, I forgot his name, man, but he knew where the play was going, Wolfie. You know what I'm saying? And he's playing defensive end. He runs across, cheats, and messes the play up. and you look at him like, dude, come on. You ain't giving us a good look. You trying to grand your 3rd, 4th on the depth chart, and now in practice you making all these plays because you know where the play is going. So we have to be mindful when somebody's working on something in practice. It's rehearsal. We're trying to get a look. You're trying to work on something and develop, esprit de corps as well as cohesion with your receiving group. And, running back out of the backfield, whatever, what have you. And you got this guy out here who might know the play, and he,
I agree with you on 10%, man. Like, practice is meant for you to make mistakes and then adjust. Like, if you're constantly in practice and you're making the same mistake over and over and over and over again after, like, through OTAs, mandatory minicamp, then training camp, and then in preseason, then I can see where the critique and the concern can come from. But if you see a guy throwing 3 interceptions one day and then he's awesome the next day, then he's not as bad as you're making him out to be because he had those 3 interceptions. He's trying something new. He's trying to get better at something. You have to make those mistakes, really honestly, to adjust, and that's how you get better, by making those mistakes. Because if you don't make those mistakes, then you're already just that good. But you need to try new things. And for Mac Jones, I agree. I don't think Mac Jones is as bad as everyone makes him out to be. I know a lot of people don't like it because the whole, discourse of, is he here to take Brock Purdy's job was like a whole thing and all that crap. Yeah, take that out. Mac Jones, to me, I feel like is like a 30, 31, or 32 quarterback in the NFL. So I think you actually technically have a starter as our backup. But what people don't understand is Kyle's system is very difficult to understand. It's like I think someone brought it up last show, whatever. Like I don't know what it was, but they brought it up. Like the language in Kyle's,
the verbiage, the
verbiage is intense.
The verbiage will throw it all out there. Yeah,
it's unique, and then what he asks you to do, where he wants you to throw it, over these linebackers, over certain players and stuff like that. You got to give Mac Jones a chance to get comfortable in the offense, understand the verbiage, and understand exactly what Kyle wants him to do. And I don't think mandatory minicamp, OTAs, where you have no pads on, there is no pressure, nothing, trying something new is enough to say that Mac Jones is trash. But you could definitely say it's like you still have to put it in the bad column if you're asking, was he good or was he bad? He wasn't good. He was bad. But I'm not going to say that he is bad. It was just bad. Yeah. It was just a bad.
Had a bad camp by measurable standards.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that we need to give a little bit of leeway with Mac Jones. and being like, okay, he still has the ability. He needs time to understand the verbiage and just really get comfortable what Kyle wants him to do. But if in training camp and preseason he looks atrocious, then I would say, okay, yeah, he's probably not as good at that point.
Yeah.
Especially considering like he's not just Brock did it as a rookie. Like he figured it out and got it done. Right.
That's why it's
Brock did it.
Man, it for a 7th rounder to come in here, because you don't get no reps, man. You basically an undrafted free agent. They give you the scraps. They eating filet mignon and leaving you chicken bone. and, and you have to do a lot with that chicken bone. And Brock cut the chicken bone up and made sushi. That's
he did
what he did.
Yeah, he did a lot to impress with the little opportunity that he had.
With that,
I think that Mac Jones is a vet, though. He's seen it all. He understands it all and stuff like that. So he's not going to get that leeway, even though Brock Purdy really didn't have much leeway, couldn't make those mistakes as rookie, where he could have just been – he made one mistake, he's gone. Right? That could have happened.
Yeah.
Mac
You
Jones
interception. You messed up your one rep. You done.
You're bad. You're done. Mac Jones is going to have that forgiveness, obviously, because he's going to be our backup for sure. But, like, he's going to make mistakes because not everyone can be Brock Purdy, where he's like Brock Purdy's literally our franchise quarterback. I'm not expecting Mac Jones to the level of being our franchise quarterback to honestly know the verbiage and get super good at it right away, right?
Yeah.
But Mac Jones is a vet, so he's got to still be able to do something good, just perform at some level. I feel like because it's not like he's a rookie just having to take it all at once and everything's moving fast. At this point in his career, things have to slow down. Things had to slow down for him. So I'm giving him, for me to feel comfortable as our backup, I'm giving him until the whole preseason to really kind of judge, be like, okay, he's bad. But if you're asking me who's good, who's bad, he did throw those 3 interceptions. He has had some bad throws. He has had some good. There was some good.
I saw one on the B-roll. Yeah, he's got he slapped one to I think it was Cowing. Cowing's wearing 19 now, right?
Yeah, he's the Debo number,
He's the Debo number, okay. And Ricky P's wearing number 1, man. And he's banged up. Y'all pay attention to these numbers. Don't changing the numbers, man. Y'all
I think Jones is a this is a comment on Ellison's comment here.
Jones is
I think Jones I think Jones up there with Mac Jones being a 30 to 32 quarterback in the NFL. Like no one really talks about the 25 through 32 if you really think about it. I think Jones is technically, if you're talking 1 through 32, I think Jones is back there as a starting quarterback. I don't even think he's a backup. I think he's actually a starter to that extent. Of 30 to 31, 32.
All right, let's play that game. Give me the back 32. Let's go. Give me your 26 through 32 in the National Football League.
I got really honestly think about that.
And help us out in the chat. In the chat, drop some names. Who's your 25 to 32 starting quarterbacks in the National Football League?
I have to bring up the list of the quarterbacks. So I have to bring up a list of the
I'll go like maybe Will Levis. That's one name that comes up. Whoever the Saints got going. That's another one.
Starter wise, I don't like this. Another thing that's kind of not fair is the rookies. I don't like to rank rookies, especially after rookie season. I'm not a ranker of that because they are in that list somewhere. But to rank them, it's kind of hard because like I'm a firm believer of 1 year doesn't define you, so I don't exactly know where to put them. Even though Jaden Daniels had a phenomenal year, I'm confident he's a starting quarterback, like for sure.
Oh yeah, I'll go from starters last year. Who comes to mind as your back 26 through 32? Your back 6.
Oh my God! As of right now, I gotta say, if are we talking rookies too?
No, just the guys from last year.
Guys from last year.
Last year's starters. Who's your 26 through 32? I throw in what's my guy? The one who said he was tired in Indianapolis. I gotta throw him in.
You could argue he's a backup, dude.
yeah, but he's the
He's
back
not even part of the
of the
32.
He was a
So then I
starter.
would put him at 32 then. Like I would put
Okay,
him at 32.
there you go. There
He
you go.
was he was atrocious. I'd rather have Daniel Jones and Mac Jones than the guy who takes himself out of the play and wasn't very good, injury prone. I just that guy I would personally take him out of the lineup. I would almost say he's a backup, but if I had to rank him, he's definitely my 32 guy for sure, like without a doubt.
I got
We'll go through the list here.
yeah.
I mean, Drake May's back there in the 20s. I agree with that.
Okay.
Sam Darnold is up there too. I think Sam Darnold's like a 25 to 32. I would say that too as well.
Wow.
Justin Fields
He's coming off a good year though. It's coming
Justin
off a good
Fields, but like that supporting cast, and I do believe O'Connell is an elite head coach and a good play caller. I really do think he's phenomenal.
Okay. You
Mason Rudolph is not up there, so I really think I got Justin Fields, Anthony Richardson. Who else did I say?
Fields, Rich. I got
Drake May's back there right now. He could get better. I think he will get better. I think he will.
Who else I said? I don't know. Desmond Ritter. It's Desmond Ritter.
Oh, he's a backup for sure.
Yeah.
He's a backup for sure. So I do think that I think Sam Donald's back there. I think Daniel Jones, Mac Jones is back there. Drake May could, like, I do believe in Drake May and he will get better, but like I said, it's fair. I don't like ranking rookie quarterbacks. It's just left for 1 year. It's really hard to do that. But if out of all the rookies, I would say Bo Nix, I think, played really well for what he did. He's got a lot of high potential. I put him above Drake May. JJ McCarthy, I can't rank him because he didn't play, so that's not fair. So Drake May would probably be back there as of right now. Caleb Williams is back there as of right now. Mason Rudolph just got replaced by Aaron Rodgers, so Mason Rudolph, I guess, would have been a starting quarterback. So
I'm looking at guys who started at least a few games last year. Yeah, throw Mason Rudolph in there. List feels
Rudolph would be probably 31.
Anthony
Richardson would be 32. I would put Jones ahead of Mac. Sorry, they're both Joneses. I would put Daniel Jones above Mac Jones right now.
Danny Dimes, yeah, Danny.
So he's about 29. Mac Jones is about a 30 kind of quarter. Jameis, I think Jameis started last year. I don't think he did. Russell Wilson's back there. Ellison's helping me out. He has good.
It's Jameis.
I think Russell Wilson's back there too.
O'Connell is a top 5 head coach in the game. Okay.
Yeah, so Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Mason Rudolph, Daniel Jones, Mac Jones, Anthony Richardson, who's that 7th guy? Oh my God, what did Ellison say there? Jameis, I guess Jameis 2 is the 7th one.
Russell Wilson,
Jameis up there.
Famous Jameis.
So I do think some of these backups that players have, I do think are actually back. Caleb Williams, that's right. Caleb Williams is back there right now. Drake May put back there. That's what I would do.
Who Drake May playing for?
Patriots.
Okay.
Yeah. Wentz is without a doubt a backup. He's without a doubt a backup these days.
Carson? Yeah, Carson is he's backing up Patrick now, isn't he?
Yeah. He's trying to win rings, another ring. He's trying to get his 2nd ring. Ellison said Jimmy G. He's also a backup now.
Yeah, you throw Jimmy G back there.
Daniel Jones over Mac Jones, without a doubt. I would take Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, I know, can win games. Like if he can go out there, I can think he's not. I'm not saying he's the greatest, right? But I think he can win games. Like I do think he's back there. And Mac Jones, Mac Jones had a great rookie year, but after that everything fell apart. So if I go based on that, knowing Daniel Jones can win some games, even against good teams as well, Mac Jones having that one good year, and after that everything kind of falls apart. I trust Mac Jones more in that situation than I do than Mac Jones.
You know who I like? And he's a backup somewhere, but he came in and won a couple games for those Cowboys. Cooper Rush.
I like Cooper Rush too.
Rush,
Cooper Rush is solid.
Okay, yeah. Cooper Rush is okay, guy.
Yeah, he's solid. Like he can win you some games, man. That's another one up there. We can.
Malik Willis.
Some people don't talk about these. Like, if you like, we kind of, well, I kind of struggled to find that back 25, where some people were like, okay, that guy's just not. He's a backup quarterback in the league. He's not that good. It's like, all right, well, stop and think about who are the backups then, and that who's the back of the line, because there's 1 through 32 jobs. Who is that 25 through 32?
Yeah.
And you're going to come up with Mac Jones, Daniel Jones. You're going to come up with those guys, and those are backups. So it's like
Red Rifle. Red Rifle was out there too. What's that man's name? Dang,
Andy Dalton. I would. He's a backup.
Yeah.
I would say he's not a 32. I would not put him in 32. Rattler, absolutely not. But as a starter, because he technically did start last year, okay, I would take Anthony Richardson over Rattler.
Wow,
okay,
for real?
So I guess he would be.
You would take Richardson over Rattler?
I would try to take Anthony Richardson because at least I can. Yeah, he'll get exhausted after one run, right? But Rattler will lose you the game, man, because he's trying to be Patrick Mahomes, and it's like, dude, first be a game manager and then work your way up to being Patrick Mahomes if that's what you want to do. Don't just go out there and be like, I'm going to save New Orleans Saints. It's crazy, dude. So I do think that a lot of people don't look at the 25 to 32 and just think 25 to 32 are just backups. Technically, they are starters.
They are starters in the back half of, they're out of your top 10 middle guys. You got to have your bottom seven, So
I think that the 49ers actually have a starting quarterback, as their backup, going from, in my opinion, a top 10 quarterback to a bottom 5 quarterback. I think that's pretty good, considering, especially last year where we didn't have that. Last year we had Brandon Allen and Josh Dobbs. I like Josh Dobbs, but he was. I like
the Pasternak too. The Pasternak started a game for us. He played against the Cardinals. It didn't materialize, but Pasternak can play. Pasternak, and when he's breaking down, Pasternak can just run, man. Pasternak will just run. I like Dobbs.
Yeah, I like his heart. He had really good heart.
So. He's a smart guy too. You ain't got to worry about the playbook. The guy, if he's a nuclear physicist or daggone NASA dude,
that's true.
You can throw a whole bunch of plays at him. Yeah, he's got it. He know how to put the notes together, and E equals MC squared on this one. I'm gonna throw a parabola or a hyperbola towards him. Yeah, he's a smart dude.
I'm gonna throw a curveball to Ellison here. I'm going to agree with Ellison that Kirk Cousins may be the best backup in the league right now. I'm going to agree that Kirk Cousins, I would say, is technically the best backup in the NFL right now, where he's 15 through 20, something like that, 20 through 23, somewhere in that general area.
And one thing about Kirk, man, Kirk is the most paid of all quarterbacks currently.
Yeah, well, he's expensive backup. Yeah, he's expensive backup. Right,
that's a money getting man. God has been good to one Kirk Cousins, boy.
Gamble don't play. I'm right back.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna cut you off a little bit.
What I got here? Oh, I was going to show y'all a little bit of Bryce Huff. Let me hit the telestrator real quick. Where I saw some really good things with Bryce Huff is here on the telestrator. Let me slow this thing down to 25 on the clock. He's getting really good get off. And here's Chris Kusarek going over his steps. Steps are so important because they can cost you a whole bunch of time, effort, love, money, and desire. As a defensive end, as a defensive tackle, you want your steps to be ultimately perfect, man. And this kid can really do it. This kid can get off really, really well. You keep telling about the get off, and I wish I could show a side-by-side comparison of him and who was the guy? Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd had some false steps last year getting to the passer, where this kid, he doesn't waste movement. He doesn't waste movement at all. And I want to put it on the telestrator to show you. First of all, the stance is really good in crouching here. As you see, he's low, very, very, very low, man. He's obviously lower than the coach, and the coach is squatting down here. Head, head really low. And this is gonna be ample time. Think about a sprinter getting down in his stance. But a sprinter has those blocks to come out of here, but he obviously doesn't have it. But check his angles out. He's not wasting any steps. He's coming out of the blocks. Oh, take it back. Coming out of the blocks, and the first steps are just spot on, man. You don't want to waste any movement, and you want good angles. He's going to just, this is his power leg here, because you always put your power leg to the back. This is his get off. Again, he doesn't have the blocks, but his power leg is going to come through at a really good angle. I like the angle of his shin to the ground. You want that at best, or at least at 30 degrees. See how he's coming off? This is really, really good. 30 degrees there. And if we could angle, if we could see through his leg right now, just about his shadow and just how it's coming off, it is virtually parallel with the marching surface. He's coming out with a good high arm, just like a sprinter would, and he's popped up a little bit more than I would like him to, but it's really good linear movement. And his first step,
it's like he's defying gravity right there in that pause.
his first step is all the way over here. When I would see Leonard Floyd last year, Leonard Floyd had like a gather step here, which costs you a couple of tenths of a second. But this guy isn't wasting any movement. He's already here. Let me put that in blue. His first step is already here, which is past the line of scrimmage, and he went right off the ball over here.
I watched a clip of him. I watched a clip of him on social media, and I thought the clip was in fast forward.
He is moving. Yeah, I had to slow it down, and I keep having to slow it down, even at 25%, man, because he gets it. I mean, it's just instant how he's moving. We tried to tell our defensive linemen and even myself, don't move on the ball, move with the ball. The slightest movement of the ball triggers you. And when you do, don't get these gather steps and waste your steps back here. Be making money on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Force and get up on them real quick. Defensive tackles, when they're dealing with somebody really, really quick and really, really fast, it's like if you're playing catch with somebody and they've been slow pitch catching with you, but all of a sudden I throw it real quick it gets up on you quick. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, whoa. And that is going to be really, really good in terms of a detriment to the offense. Look, he's over there already. He's making a step already. Another step, and he's not there.
Wasting a single muscle.
He ain't wasting nothing.
He's gathering itself. He's still pushing his chest forward. He's moving his hands forward. It's like everything is just going forward. It's not like his legs is doing all the work. Like he's using his chest too to burst forward.
Yes,
he's
sir.
Using everything to get ahead and try to chase the ball, like you said. So I'm absolutely impressed.
Linear motion. He's getting off very, very quick. Now I noticed when he tries it with the other leg forward, I can tell where your power leg is because it's a little he's a little bit higher, and I know that ain't really what he feel good with. He felt better with his power leg being his left leg, but I can see on when he puts his left leg forward now, you're gonna see some instances. You're gonna see some more
That little leg cock back. It's kind of
different. All right. He's a little higher, and the angle isn't is as good. Coming off right here, let me move my little circle. He's getting here. He needs to be over. I'd like to see him over there with this first step, and then it should be another step, and then he should be there. I've noticed that his angles with his shins are a little bit more going towards 35 to 40 degrees, and not like the other ones down here. He's not like dragging that thing. He's coming up a little bit, and you'll see him be a little higher. He'll be up here. See, he's popping up a little bit. Chest already showing me numbers. I'd like his numbers to be down here a little bit, and I wanted him to step. His first step should be way over here. But he's getting there. He's getting there. He's really good. He gets off on the get off, and then I was showing. I got some B-roll of a sprinter, how a sprinter gets out. No wasted movement, very linear, just coming out of those blocks. Who is this? This is Mr. Usain Bolt practicing his get off. See how the parallel of his leg? This is his power leg. The back foot is your power leg. The front foot is your get off, and he's not wasting anything. The chest is down, and that next step is way over there. And if you want to find your power leg, it's different for everybody else. It's different for everybody. But if you ever want to find your power leg, just go outside, or you can do it in your house. Look at these, man. Look at that flexion. That's just 30 degrees, 30 degrees. That's why he's one of the best in the world. And Usain gets no wasted movement, no double steps, no false steps. That's really, really key when you're getting out of the blocks and mandatory with your get off. Let me see. Oh, that's the schedule I got. Let me remove that. Just a little something I wanted to show everybody.
yeah.
He's good. He doesn't waste movement. He gets across really good, and you can give a clinic on his get off. Even but a sprinter has the advantage of having starting blocks, and the starting blocks give them a linear advantage to move. Where's my camera? To move forward, but the ground, because you need ground for power, is flat. When you're playing football, all you have really is your ankle flexion, and a lot of your power is going to be displaced going up. This guy can angle and keep his shins parallel to the marching surface relatively good, about 30 degrees, and come on across there real quick and doesn't waste steps. I saw too many times with Leonard Floyd wasting steps last year, even though he had 9 sacks. And Leonard Floyd is not garbage by any stretch of the imagination, man. He's really, really good.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Bryce Huff will definitely be an upgrade for sure. I can't wait to see him play. I really do hope we get that 10 sack guy, 10 tackles for a loss guy. That would be
We need
yeah,
it.
we need it so bad. We need it on
We
the other
need
side
it.
so bad.
And we deserve it. By golly, we deserve it.
So to go back to the bad, we talk about Mac Jones. The rest of the list, honestly, they're not really. I guess there's one bad player, but the rest is not so bad. The list that I have, Mac Jones is bad. Junior Burgeon fumbling his
Oh
ball.
yeah,
He's
Junior.
he's having ball fumble issues with
Yeah.
the returns. Honestly, that's bad to me. In his
Yeah.
OTs, he still has an opportunity to prove himself and just calm down and catch those balls and stuff. But like that's a bad sign. And if he doesn't get together soon, he's probably gonna get cut. Juwan, who's one of the Howlers, he says that he thinks Junior Burgeon is not even going to make the practice squad.
Come on, man.
That
For real.
I told him
Hot take.
that's crazy. That's
Hold
a
on.
hot take. And
Where
he's
my
straight told me,
banner? Hot take. Hot take.
that's a hot take. And he's like, I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's pretty lukewarm. I don't think I'm like, bro, I love you, man. Great guy. But that is a hot take to think that
Yeah,
Junior Burgeon's
dude.
going to make the practice squad. That would be nuts.
And what did we draft them in? Seventh round. And it's not so much because he was supposed to be this first round guy, but the role exclusively for why we went and got him involved that special teams, and this is his thing. It's not like Debo's out there, fumbling punts a little bit. Well, your primary job is receiver, so you'll be all right. But when your primary job and the purpose of which we got you here is you're not doing that,
yeah,
it ain't gonna
it's
be
taking
good.
care of the football. Really, it's really dangerous. Like if you slip up, mess up one time, it's bad. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Cal ain't
it's
have it. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
if you want a short stay, be a rookie and make a mistake, fumble that ball around Kyle. He'll be over there sitting with him.
Yeah.
He'll be over there sitting with him.
Yeah, I think he's definitely hits that bad list, but I think him not even make the practice squad. Like, if he gets picked up by somebody else, I don't think that counts. But like, if he's a free agent and we don't sign him to a practice squad, I would be genuinely shocked that if he doesn't make the practice squad, because they would still want to work with him and potentially see maybe next year. It's obviously not this year, so if they can get him on the practice squad to practice and then get that, deal with the whole fumbling issues, it slows down for him. It's not enough pressure. I think they would want to work on that potential to not make the practice squad. I think that would be. I think that would be a hot take. But yeah, he's definitely hits the bad though for those drops. The rest of the list, Renardo Green was good and bad. It depends on how you want to take it. But I think what happened with Renardo Green, that he got burned a couple of times, but it's described as like he wasn't burned by everybody. It was described that he was just beat in the sense of like he was doing good, but the ball was just perfectly placed. It was the player just kind of made a better move on that one point. It wasn't like Renardo Green wasn't in the vicinity, wasn't making wasn't tight coverage or anything like that. Especially the fact that he cannot put hands on people right now. You cannot.
You can't.
You can't actually be that press corner that you actually are.
You can't do
So
your
it's
thing.
really-
yeah.
So it's really how you want to approach it. Was he actually bad? I don't think so, but he wasn't great either. So I guess if you wanted to put him in that category, sure. But it's kind of like an honorable mention that it is actually him being on the list. Ricky Pearsall, the injury thing. If you want to put that on the bad list, you could, I guess. But it's just shaky for me.
I'm giving him grace. Maybe he'll work through it. Maybe we'll be okay. But it's something I noted. Hey, let me break through here for a minute. I can't officially call it breaking news, but I wanted to share something with us real quick here. This is PFF. They've come out with a little something here. Where's my stop screen? Okay.
Cage in the house. Welcome to the stream, brother. Glad you're a 49ers fan, man. That's awesome. The more 49ers fans, the better.
More 49ers fans, the better. Yes. Where's my stuff at here? This is new from PFF. not the clippers there, Red Pro, which are some good hair clippers, if you say it. PFF is ranking the 2025 NFL receiving core rankings. The Eagles are number one.
Yeah.
It's where the San Francisco 49ers are. PFF is ranking the San Francisco 49ers receiving core at number 5. Number 5 in the National Football League. This ain't in our division, which it ain't before, but this is a bit of a hot take. And they're taking in consideration the recovery of Brandon Ayuk and the MCL tear. Christian McCaffrey's limited playing time last season while dealing with the PCL and Achilles injury. But the matter of fact is McCaffrey has earned an 84 plus by PFF receiving grade in his six of his 8 seasons, including the last one in which he fully was healthy in 2023. And Ayuk is one of the highest graded receivers at a 91.7. If they are healthy, caveat there, comma, and can feature alongside George Kittle, who is ranking PFF at a 92 among the tight ends of last season, with Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall being healthy, the group deserves the benefit of the doubt, even without Deebo Samuels. That is a hot take there. How you feel about
that? I like Kittle. I do. I think he's a great receiving tight end, but he's not used often in the receiving game. They're counting Christian McCaffrey in the receiving game, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
they're counting on Ricky Pearsall to repeat his end of year performance. Juwan Jennings, great receiver. I'm not gonna take that away. Ayuk wasn't playing good prior to his injury. That is such an interesting take because they had him over. They have the 49ers core with all those and all that recession ahead of freaking Vikings,
ahead of the Vikings, ahead of the Dolphins, ahead of the Rams, ahead of the Bears, ahead of Houston.
Absolutely not, dude.
The only ones they say are better. Philadelphia comes in number 1. You got Saquon is good out there. You got Brown and Devontae Smith. Dallas Goedert is number 1. The Tampa Bay Bucks. You got I know about Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. They said will be there. Bucky Irving coming out of there
too as well. So they got a young stud. I can't remember his name. I think they got Ibuka. I think they got
Ibuka. Yeah, that's it. Emeka Egbuka. They got Cincinnati Bengals at number 3 with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. No news there. No news flash there, along with Mike Gesicki. And Detroit Lions, who have Amon St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, Jamin Gibbs, and David Montgomery. But then coming in at 5, San Francisco 49ers. How we feel about it?
The Vikings have Justin Jefferson, who's arguably the best wide receiver, either 1A, 1B, best wide receiver in the league.
I agree.
On pace. I'm not saying he is on pace to be one of the greatest, if not the greatest wide receiver of all time. He's on that pace. Not saying he will do that, but that's the pace he's on.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison is a number 1 wide receiver.
Jordan Addison gave us problems, right?
TJ Hawkinson is a top 3, top 5 tight end in the league. You're saying those bona fide commodities with no ifs next to them is better. And I love my 49ers. Don't get me wrong.
I do. I love my Niners, but y'all hot taking. You're hot taking a little bit PFF.
Aaron Jones.
And they added Rondell Moore. Remember Rondell Moore played for the Cardinals. Rondell Moore can go. And Jordan Mason.
It's like, what are you talking about? You got Ayuk with the ACL was bad before it wasn't playing very good before the ACL tear. You got Christian McCaffrey. You don't know. I still think it's gonna be great, but it's still an if he could get back to that. Ricky Pearsall. You cannot say that he's going to be great after just a couple. Like I believe he is. It's not the same as where you are right now.
Yeah.
To put him above the Vikings is crazy work, dude. You got Aaron Jones, one of the best receiving wide running backs in the league. You got a top 5, top 3 tight end in TJ Hawkinson. You got the best wide receiver in the NFL, number 1, and you got Jordan Addison. What are you talking about, dude?
I think, they just trying to put some undue pressure on Brock, man.
Dude, that's
one of those setup
great
type dudes, Hey, or you got the best number 5 receiving core, in all of football. You better be $53 million in the game. However, Minnesota's gonna start JJ Hardy this year, right?
JJ McCarthy, yeah.
JJ McCarthy, yeah.
I actually like him a lot. I think before his injury, my comp was actually Brock Purdy. When I watched him play and I watched the thing he does, I think he's actually going to be pretty good. But that's, again, it kind of comes back to what I said about the rest of the players we just said. Those are ifs. We'll see what they are in the end. Yeah. What I believe they're going to be is not the same as what they are. I believe JJ McCarthy's actually going to be good, and he kind of reminds me of Brock Purdy and the things that he does. We'll see.
And he was supposed to start last year. He had the season-ending surgery or the season-ending injury, and that's how Sam Darnold got into the slot and made the most of it. I ain't gonna hate on Sam Darnold, but he definitely made the most of it. But yeah, dude, that's them some big draws to fill right there. Pause. Number 5 in the NFL for a receiving core. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that, dude.
Let's let that play out, ladies and gentlemen. Let it play it out. Ellison Gurley, that person did their job. They got the clicks and views, and Tarrerdome is sharing it. Yes.
It worked, man. It worked. It worked, dude.
I'm just bringing it up as a topic. It's something I ran across in Niner News.
Oh, QBs don't count. It's a
Niners web zone, 49ers web zone. That's where I got it from.
QBs don't count. It's like, what would you rather have for your QB? And I would much rather have that Vikings receiving core, talent-wise, than the 49ers. I love Kittle. I love my guys.
Receiving core, but that's a good core. That's no hate. Is just what it is. I like the Dolphins receiving core. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill will blaze you. I know he ain't too happy.
With the Dolphins right now, yeah.
But Los Angeles added Devontae Adams, Tyler Higbee, Tutu Atwell, Pukua. Just saying, they ranked. They got the Rams at 8.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go based on potential and what you believe that they will be, I could see why almost. But like, if you're making a list based on that right now, I don't think that's fair because because you're just now it's a personal thing that it is like, oh, statistically and logically, this is where they are. And compared to, because I do believe Ricky Pearsall could be a very great wide receiver. I do believe CMC can come back, and I do believe Ayuk can come back. But it's all belief in like ifs and stuff that it is what ifs, they are. And
ifs and buts and candies and nuts. Usually, if for me is a 33% word. If I say if 3 times, it's 99% not likely. Every time I say if, that's 33%, 33%, 32. So if it's on a single topic, I'm like, if you got to get 3 ifs together for something to happen, you 99% not likely for it to happen.
Yeah, so that's great.
All right, man. Let's go to our last topic du jour. We trying to do it in 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen. We at hour 1:48. We are doing not state, but division greats for the whole NFL. Today's division is the AFC South, ladies and gentlemen. AFC South. Who is the GOAT, the most recognizable figure for a prospective team? When we bring up the name, we'll start with the Houston Texans. The
Houston Texans.
Who's the Houston Texans GOAT?
I'm not gonna make the joke where I say someone who's absolutely absurd. I'm not gonna do that. It's very hard not to. I so want to like just say like absurd, like David Carr or something. Like that.
You can do some Rushmore names in your honorable, but we talk Houston Texans.
This is easy. This is the easiest. It's one of those like sometimes like last one we had with NFC South, the easy one, Drew Brees, Deion Sanders. I feel like the Texans one's easy. It's J.J. Watt. This guy is a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 5-time All-Pro. I forgot what 5-time Pro Bowler. This dude is without a doubt the pinnacle of the Texans' history, man. I mean, there's not much to really say after that. The dude's phenomenal. Believe he was also in the MVP race at one point.
Oh yeah,
I believe he was. You can correct me on that. This dude is he is offense. He has some touchdowns. He's played some offense.
He does. I forgot about that. Yeah,
it is not okay. I'm not. It can't do no. Okay, all right. I won't say it. But it's without a doubt J.J. Watt, bar none. It doesn't even come close. There's some good players out there, but it's J.J. Watt.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Pro Bowls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 All Pros. Defensive Player of the Year twice, and he came in second in MVP voting back in 2014. A menace. 114 sacks for his career. Actually, 114 and a half. I don't want to miss out on your half. 586 tackles. You mentioned he got a couple of touchdowns on it. 195 tackles for loss. He averaged 22 tackles for loss for 17 game seasons. That was J.J. Watt.
He's considered one of the greatest defensive players. Like, he's not better than LT. Like, I would obviously take LT more, but because he's like the best, greatest defensive player up ever.
Yeah,
but he's in the top 5 greatest defensive players of all time conversation.
He's up there.
He's so good.
He's up there, man. 114 sacks. That ain't nothing to sneeze at. Bruce Smith is all time at 200, but he's in the thick of things. And to get those MVP votes, man, to come in second in MVP voting, that's big. Either he had 2 MVP votes or he came in second. I don't know quite how they do it. I know with this MVP and you got a 1 there, you won the MVP. So I'm considering y'all can check my math and see if I'm correct there. But yeah, it's J.J. Watt. You really, my personal guy, from the U is coming in second so much. But I loved Andre Johnson back in the day. Tough as nails. Remember the fight he had with the Tennessee guy when he gave him a 2-piece spicy. But Andre Johnson was an incredible receiver. But yeah, it's J.J. Watt. No.
Yeah, I saw a couple people in the comments say Andre Johnson. He is a great. Like, obviously, Andre Johnson was a phenomenal wide receiver, but I would have to give it to J.J. Watt. Like you said, like I just think that he's that guy. He's that pinnacle. They were. Andre Johnson was phenomenal, though. It's no discredit to him. He was phenomenal. Still one of the great wide receivers out there. But yeah, it's J.J. Watt.
Okay, let's move.
Finnegan's crazy.
Yeah, that fight. It was Cortland Finnegan. Yeah, man. They was chipping back and forth, and Andre he's not a loud guy. He won't that way at the U. At one time we had Andre Johnson. I think it was Santana Moss on the other side. We had Entrell Rowe. It was just sick at the U. It was sick, but tough dude, man. And he, for whatever reason, it's those 2 words. Not today. Cortland Finnegan caught that 2-piece spicy. I think he knocked his helmet off. You better take this 2-piece spicy meal with a biscuit. You get it at Bojangles. He gave it to him, man. Yeah, tough receiver, real and good guy, man. All about business. Very Fitzgeraldish to me. Very Fitzgeraldish, man. Good skills.
Yeah.
Who you want to do next? I'll leave it up to you. We can take we got the Indianapolis Colts.
We can do the Colts.
We can go Colts.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Colts, man, what's interesting about these Colts, you can bring in the old school Baltimore Colts if you want, I think. But we're saying Indianapolis, but Colts is Colts to
the
me.
Baltimore Colts moved to be the Indianapolis Colts, so it's right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Hold on. Baltimore went. Yeah, Baltimore
For
went to
some reason, I was
Indianapolis.
saying Baltimore Ravens. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, wait, do I
And
bet mixed up?
but
Do I know
when you go there, when I went to Baltimore, the 49ers played Baltimore back in 2019, Christmas around 2019. And as you're driving up, you go, things were named like the Horseshoe Club. That's their big club, big bar and casino. And I was like, what? How come it ain't the Ravens? And then it hit me, oh, this was Baltimore at one time. This is gonna be when you throw in those old names now, you gotta say everybody. So I know probably where you're gonna go, given your age, but we gotta consider everything. That's Baltimore and Indianapolis Colts. Who's the Colts goat to
This
you?
one was tough because I couldn't decide whether or not is Peyton a Colt or is he a Bronco? Is Peyton a Colt or is he a Bronco? Peyton would say he's a Bronco, but he had 13 years with the Colts, won a Super Bowl, lost a Super Bowl. He developed his legacy with the Colts. It's very hard to make him a Bronco, right? So it's
What was it? It was only
I'm
2 or 3
torn at that.
seasons. Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm torn at that because, like, him personally, he thinks he's a Bronco. He wants to be a Bronco, but it was just 4 years with the Broncos, and he
4
had three
years.
good ones, one really bad one where he won the Super Bowl, where he was
He won the Super Bowl with the bad one. Yeah.
and so I get torn at that. So I kind of have a cheat. This is kind of a cheat for me.
Okay.
It is Peyton Manning to me.
Okay.
Without a doubt, it's Peyton Manning. Some people, to me, he's the fifth greatest quarterback of all time, somewhere fifth, maybe sixth or seventh, around that general area. But I have to throw in the honorable mention, and it's what people are saying in the chat. If you told me it was Johnny Unitas, I wouldn't argue with you at all. I'd be like, okay, then it's him. If you want to say it's him, it's fine. But if it's just that confliction of, it's just that conflict of, like, is he a Bronco or is he a Colt that makes me? If he's a definitive Colt, I would say Peyton Manning. But there's just that weird line that's being drawn that just makes me like, all right, whatever you want. You Johnny Unitas or Peyton Manning. So I'm kind of cheating. So I would say Johnny Unitas or Peyton Manning. And that's I know that's not fair, but it's just that conflict. So I would say Peyton Manning 1A, Johnny Unitas 1B.
I am not mad, and I'm glad you absorbed the great Johnny Unitas. One of the sweetest rap lines I ever heard. I think it was by Tech Nine. He said, "If I got problems, I can go out and find. I come in there like Unitas with 1-9." Oh, that was dope. See, 1-9. Johnny Unitas was 1-9, but he meant 9mm pistol. That was dope. That was
Yeah.
coming there with that.
That sounds like a hard line. That sounds like a hard line.
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh, I'm taking that.
Before we go,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
are you going to continue about the Colts, or are you moving on to the next team?
No, I'm here for the Colts. I got to get my coat.
Oh, okay, sorry. Go ahead. I'll at the end of it. I'll
It is. It's got to be Peyton, but I got to give that respect to the great Johnny U. Football in the 1950s wasn't America's pastime. It was clearly baseball. But it took Johnny Unitas playing against the New York Giants and Sam Huff in 1958 to see it on television. And that's when the supplanting of football started becoming America's favorite game because it was on TV. It's considered the greatest game ever. Johnny Unitas was that dude back then. Johnny Unitas was everything to everybody wanted to be like Johnny U, man. Johnny U wore the high top cleats. He wore 19. He could throw the ball a ton. He was just that dude. The love and respect and reverence that everybody that from my looking up to my dad's generation, they would talk about two cats, the great Jim Brown and the great Johnny U. So I'm gonna just give him his propers and say, "Hey, Johnny, here's to you." But yeah, it's Peyton, man, and honorable mention too. I'll throw in there. Andrew Luck was. We talked about him.
Oh
Or
my, he
Andrew
was
Luck
going
was
to
really, really
be.
great.
He was going to be.
He
And
was
then,
going to be,
yeah.
and he had a really good. Edgerrin James, the great Marshall Falk, started with the Indianapolis Colts. They had some wonderful. What's my man name? Bubba Smith played for those Colts. The Colts were the juggernaut, man. The Colts were it, but it was the game, the Super Bowl against the New York Jets. The Colts were favored by 17 points. They were supposed to stomp it out, being led by a young Don Shula in that Super Bowl. And it was, the great Joe Namath that guarantees the victory and walks off with that one finger in the air, man. They just been all the way around great, great things as a franchise. And rest in peace to their owner, Jim Irsay. Probably not the best guy for a lot of people. He had his demons. I understand, but I'll give him his propers as an owner. But it's Peyton, man. Peyton came in very, very ballyhooed. He came in as a rookie, finishing second in that Heisman. His senior year at Tennessee. Think about this Heisman Trophy. You had at Downtown Athletic Club. I remember very distinctly. It was Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson, and Randy Moss up for the Heisman that year.
That's probably the greatest Heisman lineup ever,
bro. But you didn't know who was gonna get that thing, and you could understand any kind of way it went. You could totally understand. But Peyton Manning had a lot of expectations put on him to come and be that first pick overall. He had to come in there and really, do it. And he had a rough rookie year, but man, he never looked back afterwards. You was gonna get 11 wins coming in the door with Peyton Manning, man, at least 10. And he made his bones in Indianapolis, won the Super Bowl there. He lost to the Saints. We talked about Drew Brees the last time. He got beat by them Saints, man. But Peyton Manning was a machine. Just command of an offense, understand a football savant, and you can even see it now on display when he does the Monday night with his brother Eli. When they sit down to talk to people, man, they're showing you depths of the game that you just can't get anywhere else. Stats galore, touchdowns galore.
It's that big ass forehead.
Accolades. And a huge
Stories.
you can show movies, drive-in movies on Peyton Manning's forehead. but he was great. He was great as Peyton Manning.
He was also famous for having the tightest helmet, because his helmet was so tight. He always had that red mark on his dome. It was so tight on his head.
Yeah, man. Because that dome was.
Oh man,
It was. I think he had high blood pressure. That thing was squeezing him so bad. Look, Ellison said they stole that Heisman from Randy Moss because he was at a small school. Yeah, man. But Randy was in there.
But I think Manning's also a quarterback, and I think quarterbacks get a little bit more special treatment than a wide receiver would too.
But it was Charles Woodson, the guy who went both ways. He was the original Travis Hunter, and he used to score in punt return too. Charles Woodson was doing it all, man. Charles Woodson, a bad dude, man. He's really incredible. I could have understood anywhere with Ellison. They was in the Downtown Athletic Club. I really didn't. Usually, who get ready to win the Heisman. Usually, you got some idea. That year was just total toss up, man. They was all there sticking there like bullets.
Did he also do offensive stuff too?
Yeah, that's what I mean. He played offense. He was the original.
He was the
original Travis Hunter. Yeah.
So
Travis played both ways, and that's how Charles got down there in Michigan. Yeah, man. Moving right along, let's go for Here's an interesting one. Let's deal with these Tennessee Titans.
All right.
Tennessee Titans. Who is your GOAT for
This one?
Titans?
Yeah, for the Tennessee Titans, man, I count the Houston Oilers.
Oh, look at that! You did your research. I was gonna come and bust you out.
Man, I played
you on top of it. All right. They used to be the Houston Oilers. All right.
It's kind of we count the Baltimore Colts. It's the same thing. As long as you're the same team, technically, I'm okay with that. It's just that you moved locations, but you're technically the same team. I count that. The Titans, though, to me, it came down to multiple players. They have so many great players. When you go and do the research, Moon, McNair, Eddie George, Earl Campbell, Bruce Matthews. You got Derrick Henry. You can keep going. They have greats all over the board. So I was like, oh my God, who do I pick? And I had to do my research. And honestly, it came down to it between two players. It was either Earl Campbell or Bruce Matthews. And I'm going to go ahead and go with Bruce Matthews.
Wow.
Guard, tackle, center. He played all three positions. And he was an all-pro as a tackle and a guard. He played both, and he also played center. He has 9 all-pros. One of them was as a tackle. He played all three positions, 19 seasons. And as 19 seasons of playing all three positions, he was a 14 consecutive Pro Bowl player. 14 consecutive, 9-time All-Pro. He was what was it? He played 296 total games, 229 consecutive games. This dude, this dude was considered probably the greatest offensive lineman of all time with what I'm seeing here. To do what he did is insane. The more research I did, I was like, Jesus, if offensive linemen got more recognition for what they do, this dude probably would have won an MVP at some point. This dude was he was also a second team All-Pro. Wow. Whenever he wasn't an All-Pro, he was a second team All-Pro. This dude is insane. When I did my research, I was like, Jesus, this guy it's without Earl Campbell.
He was a SC guy too, right? I think he's USC.
I didn't go that far back in college, but
I bet he was.
He's related to Clay Matthews.
Yeah, lineage.
Yeah. I'm like I said, Bruce Matthews would have won an MVP if offensive linemen got more credit. I swear to God, just based on what I'm seeing here. But they don't. Earl Campbell, though, the reason why he comes in second, he didn't last very long. It was like 7-8 years. He was an MVP, though, in 1979. That is insane. That's props to him. 3-time Offensive Player of the Year. He was Rookie of the Year. 3-time first-team All-Pro. 5 Pro Bowls. In a 6-year career with the Titans. The thing is that when you go look back at him, he had a 4.3 yards per carry.
Yeah.
He's not your speed guy. He's a power back. He was a power back.
Very much power.
That's what I had to check. I was like,
crazy power.
Crazy, dude. This guy was a freight train. I went to go watch. I actually had to go back and watch his highlights because I was like, 4.3 yards of carries, not that great. Why was he this MVP? I don't understand. Had to go get some context. This dude was just folding people.
Yes.
I was like, Jesus. Okay, I could see why.
Big Earl was problems, bro.
So, honestly, it was between those two, and I had to go with Bruce Matthews because to do for that 19 years with all those accomplishments and everything he's done, it's Bruce Matthews. It's not like, and I feel like some people will be like, well, he's offensive line or whatever. He played all 3 positions and was good at it. That's not common. And so it's without a doubt it's got to be Bruce Matthews for me when it comes to the Titans. That's my answer.
Wow. Yeah. You done You done scanned my vote over. I'm just gonna shout out some Mount Rushmores around here.
You
I
really
got
could, like, if you
the,
wanted.
the great Warren Moon. Warren Moon, man. It's a travesty what happened to him. This was in the days where they just didn't believe in a brother being your starting quarterback too much. But
Yeah, there's a
man,
lot of bias. He got
they,
pushed back a lot
they
back then.
had that run and shoot going back in the 80s. Warren Moon was an issue. Warren Moon was that dude, man. They still say that is the prettiest spiral anybody has ever seen. The ball sizzled as it got past. While he's out there warming up, you could hear his ball pause, his balls passing you with a they would just come in like heat-seeking missiles, man. He had three receivers, man. They were just running all around the field, man. It was something to behold. The great Warren Moon. Somebody mentioned Billy White Shoes Johnson, baby. Billy White Shoes Johnson. Everybody did that funky chicken when they scored a touchdown. Billy White Shoes Johnson. Shout out to you. Earl Campbell, man. Earl Campbell should have been a champion. It took arguably the greatest defense in the world to stop him every time. He just came up in the era where the Super Steelers was just doing it. And I know they got 6 Hall of Famers over there on defense alone. This Mean Joe Green, Dwight White, it was Jack Lambert, Donnie Shell, Mel Blunt, and they just had, it wasn't nothing he could do. Tony Dungy played nickel. It was just something, man. The Super Steelers gave you everything. They had one season, man. They had 5 shutouts in a season, and Earl would get all the way to the AFC Championship game, and he was all they had. They had a quarterback named Dan Pastorini and Bum Phillips. Wade Phillips' dad used to coach them. Bum Phillips, man. Billy. Yeah, Billy used to wear a cowboy belt, and he wore the cowboy hat and stuff. He was a real cowboy. But they couldn't do nothing with those Super Steelers. But man, Earl Campbell, and you seen the highlights. Everybody, please take 10 minutes out your life and see number 34 run that rock. They call him the Tyler Rose. His thighs were every bit of 35 or 40 inches each. And if Earl caught you coming downhill, dude, what? You better ask somebody. You better make sure your insurance right, your helmet's tight, because that dude won't playing. That dude was running up in your chest, man. They got one with him tackling a ram, and the ram just gets.
He was like, yeah, that's one of the videos I saw. He would fall back. He was like, oh my god,
no,
he like he's having a seizure.
Yeah, man, he caved his chest in like your daddy hitting you when you was a little boy. Just Earl Campbell, shout out to Tyler Rose, man. He's come up on some hard things that's gone on with his body. He isn't as mobile as he once was, but I tell you, you didn't want problems from the Tyler Rose. He later on went on to play with New Orleans a couple years, but by then, man, he was just so spent from carrying the whole city of Houston around. They had a whole chant, man. They say Houston Oilers, and everybody had these light blue pom-poms, and you should have seen the Astrodome, man. It was a college atmosphere, but they just couldn't get past that silver and black, man. That silver and black was always waiting on them. But yeah, your boy Matthews, this is real. I'm pulling up his stats now. You 100% right. Pro Bowl. All pro second. All pro.
Yeah, he's all over the place, man. Like to do that in his in that league where someone can just fall on your leg and break it, and it was way rough. You could do a lot more nastier shit. That's the incredible part to me. It's like not in this league where I feel like that would be believable. If I told you those and I didn't tell you where he was and you were someone new, you would think, okay, well he's in this era. No, bro. He was in another area where it was so much harder. Man.
I would have thought he was a kicker. don't nobody get this lucky but a kicker. He came in the league 1983 in the greatest quarterback draft ever considered, and went through 2001. The man went through a quarter century of football, and I'm seeing 16, 16, 16, 16, 8, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 296 games, 293 starts.
That's freaking
insane.
Crazy, dude.
4 positions.
To me, honestly,
right guard, left tackle, 5. Man, he played the whole line. Yeah,
the whole line. When I did the more I did read his research on Bruce Matthews, the more I'm like, this guy is the greatest offensive lineman of all time. Like I can't. Like I love Trent Williams, and I love a lot of these other offensive linemen.
Oh man, it's been some great ones, but they ain't got the numbers like this, man. Yeah. I'll check Trent. Not Trent. It was a guy that played for the Rams. Jackie Slater, his sons played for New England, and who else? Anthony Munoz. Please take some time out. Go and see some Anthony Munoz, left tackle. For I think he did 15, 16 seasons, Cincinnati Bengals. Anthony Munoz, just watch Magic. This is how a tackle is supposed to be. And if it's that, nobody's touching Anthony Munoz, man. Anthony Munoz looked so dominant against the best pass rushers of the day. Your Derek Thomases, Lawrence Taylors, Keena Turner, Reggie White. Everybody was out there then. And they won't know, little, hey, you can't play too rough, or defensive this, or oh, we don't do that. Cut blocks. Anthony Munoz was sick, but this Matthews, yeah, I ain't mad at you. I'll have to agree.
All right.
I'll have to agree. This
Who was your
beautiful.
guy before him?
I was thinking Earl. I was gonna go Big Earl. But this just too much. Yeah, Earl Campbell, man. That was who we used to try to be when we went outside. You either tried to be Earl Campbell, Walter Payton, or Tony Dorsett. Those were your 3. You emulated that. You would look at TV and then go outside, and we play a game called Pick Up and Run. And Pick Up and Run, they called it something else that wasn't politically correct for me to say. It nowadays, but it rhymed with smear. I
got you.
Some people called it that, but and when you truck somebody, when you truck them, man, they say, "Oh, that's an Earl Campbell run." Yeah, Earl Campbell. and Eric Dickerson. We tried to be Eric Dickerson too, but
Earl.
But yeah.
I kind of I didn't know a lot about Earl Campbell before this research and stuff. I'll be honest with you, and I definitely have a lot more respect for the guy now and what he did. The thing is, it just wasn't if he played longer and he played just as good, maybe, but like just 6 years, 7 years is not enough for me to like compare to what Bruce Matthews did and stuff. But Earl Campbell, though, if he played that good for another 3 or 4 years, he'd probably be my top 5. In my top 5 easily running back of all time if he kept doing that. That short year career is just not enough to put him in that list. But I definitely will now put him in the top 10 list when you talk about him for sure.
Yeah, man. Earl Campbell was problems.
Bruce Matthews is like, you want to say greatest tackle of all time, like Anthony Munoz and all them tackle.
Yeah.
I'm talking greatest offensive lineman is Bruce Matthews. Like that.
Yeah, I can understand. I can understand.
Like all of those positions.
Yeah, it's like Deion Sanders is the greatest shutdown corner ever, but to me, the greatest defensive back is Ronnie Lott because he played and was high on 3 of the positions, all 3 positions.
All 3 positions, and he was just lead at that secondary position.
Yeah, So I understand totally why you're saying that. I can understand.
Bruce Matthews is supposed to be a guard. And then he was able to be an all-pro as a left tackle. He's supposed to be a guard and then be a second-team all-pro as a center. And it's just kind of like, What are you doing? That is an elite
ridiculous.
offensive lineman and the greatest offensive lineman ever. But if you want to say like one person's probably the greatest left tackle over him, sure, I can see that because that's not like his number one position. But he was an All-Pro as a left tackle. For the Titans, man, like I'm surprised I don't see more people talk about Bruce Matthews more. But I guess you are an offensive lineman, and offensive line don't get a lot of
No, it's offensive line. Yeah, it's not a skill position. We don't, put in. You see how Kyle feels about offense.
Yeah, he's probably like, "Who's Bruce Matthews? Who's Anthony Munoz?
He's not on Madden. Not on my fantasy team. Screw him. Can't win any points."
So we did Texans, Titans, Colts. I guess the last one is the Jags.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm tweeting something to myself. Post it. Because I want to bring up something else after the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who you got as your Jacksonville Jag? Established was it 1995? Yeah, 1995. They came in the same time the Carolina Panthers came in. Who is your all-time? And you can throw some honorable mentions in there if you want to, and then boom, you got it.
I feel like I did my research and it became between two people. The Jags don't really have a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, a rich history. Yeah,
it's without a doubt Tony Baselli for me.
Okay, that first drafted player.
Yeah, he's a 3-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, Hall of Fame. He's part of the '90s All-Decade team. The dude is phenomenal. He's that guy. He's the pinnacle. He's their one Hall of Fame player for the Jags. It's Tony Baselli. There's no debate. I kind of feel bad for the Jags because I'm not trying to say that's a bad because you're a 3-time All-Pro, 5-time Pro Bowler, all that. You made All-Decade team. That's still something. But man, I feel bad for Jags fans. They don't really have much to rep because I kind of you got for all the teams we talked about. There's greatness. There's this guy. My second honorable mention guy, though, is, and I almost don't even count him as a Jag, and you would because he was drafted as one. Jalen Ramsey only played 3 full seasons as a Jag, and then played 4 games as a Jag, but then became a Ram. He's played more games and more seasons technically as a Ram than he was a Jag. So you could argue that he was actually a Ram than he is a Jag. He's won a Super Bowl with the Rams. He was more Pro Bowlers, more all-time pros with the Rams. He's done more with the Rams. I would almost say that Ramsey is a Ram, but if you were well, you are where you were drafted. If you wanted to make that argument, that could be okay, he's definitely probably, but it's Tony Baselli for sure. But Ramsey comes in second. But Ramsey just did not play enough with the Rams compared to other teams to say that he is a Ram, in my opinion. Fred Taylor, like Ellison said, is a good one too.
Yeah,
but
that's okay.
Tony Baselli to me is that guy, another offensive lineman. But I just feel so bad for the Jags.
They ain't got no chips.
Titans got Bruce Matthews, Earl Campbell, Eddie George.
And then you go into the doldrums with the Jacksonville Jags. I'm gonna flip it a little bit, man. I know Baselli had a storied career about all the Jags had, but I gotta shout my man Fred Taylor out on this one. I'm gonna give him the nod. Amassed 11,695 yards, 4.6 per carry. Had some great years. He was All-Pro twice. Rookie of the Year, finished third. Player of the Year, he finished 5th back in 2002, and he made a Pro Bowl and a second-team All-Pro in 2007. Fred Taylor, I love his disposition, man. I love his he was a fierce runner now. Fred Taylor would hit switches on you quick. He'll score. He's a Florida Gator guy. I'm gonna let that go. But I'm just gonna give him his prospects. I love too how he comes off, and I check out the Pivot podcast a great deal. Even before that, they used to be on with what's my man name? Brandon Marshall. They had one called the I Am Athlete, and I just hear his insight, his approach to the game. He played a couple years in New England at the end, right? There 2009, 2010 in New England. But I like Fred Taylor, and you could flip a coin and go either way because it hasn't been that much of a rich history to say, yeah, this is it,
Yeah.
And they haven't had their guy.
You can almost pick a random dude for the Jags and say it's their greatest player. Like they don't have.
You can just pick a random dude.
Like Blake Bortles was the greatest Jaguar ever.
Woo!
You can say that, dude. Like it just there's really
I don't know
nothing
too
to
much
pick
nothing
from.
about the Jags.
It was really kind of, I was really disappointed, if that made sense. Like I'm not a Jags fan, obviously, or anything like that, but you're like where is the Trevor Lawrence might be their greatest.
That's who they're depending to be that face of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're pinning a lot of hopes on Trevor Lawrence, man. That's their most ballyhooed quarterback that they have brought in. He had one. I can't think of his name. Did Byron Leftwich play for him? Keenan McCardell. Keenan McCardell was pretty good.
I think they played. I think Leftwich did. I think that sounds
Mark
familiar.
Brunell is a coach now. I remember Jimmy Smith more with Denver, but I think he had a cup of coffee at Jacksonville at one time. But
it's like, do you just feel bad for Jags fans now? Like when I did my research, I know I keep saying that, but it's just it blew my mind. I was like, God, you guys got nothing.
It ain't much meat on that chicken bone. It ain't a lot to get there, buddy.
You guys are just bad. Like there's no bad luck to you guys. You guys are just bad. Like the Browns have more like.
Oh, the Browns is
you do, man. That's crazy.
Got the baddest of them all, but yeah, a short lineage in terms of their a franchise, and then of that franchise, you never had that real dominant must-see TV guy when the games you're building the games as a network. You're building this week. It's gonna be Jacksonville led by and Minnesota.
Named Tony Pacelli. No, offensive line.
Yeah, it ain't gonna sell no tickets, dude.
Well, like the Lions, even though they haven't won anything, Barry Sanders, Megatron. They had
some stars.
They had some TV to watch. They had a reason to click in.
Put some lipstick on that pig. I got you. Man. Ain't much there, bro. Hey, it is what it is. And then ownership, they got the guy. What's his name? Khan is there.
Sounds like a Mortal Kombat villain. I'm not gonna lie to
you. And then he got that mustache, like he gonna, like a villain in in a spy movie.
And they don't even have a good mascot. Like Jaguars. I don't even like their like Panthers is a lot cooler than Jaguars. Like Jaguars is probably like the lamest name I think in all of NFL. I would say, not to go into a whole other ranking, but like if I'm a player, I would never want to play for the Jaguars. That doesn't sound cool, like at all. Like
that's why I say the Jags, and the connotation for a Jag, it's a acronym meaning just another guy. So when you talk about
then you're connected to that acronym.
Acronym's bad, and you need a real mascot. You need get the Jaguar in a cage. That would be dope. Like the Dolphins used to have a real dolphin that would jump out of he was in the back of the end zone. It used to come up and he used to kick the ball through upright. It was a real dolphin. It's okay to go with a real Jaguar in a cage. Don't let that thing get out, Lord Jesus. It'll be something bad. But who you got? Chester Cheetah that can
Chester Cheetah.
You gotta get the guy in the hot suit, and he's yay, let's go, Jaguars.
Yeah, like I'm not feeling it, man. Like I'm just not feeling it. Red Jet says, "How come people say Jaguars? I say Jaguars. I go Jaguars.
Jaguars. That's how they say it in England. They make the it is a British company. Them and Land Rover, they would make commercials and say they all knew 2001 Jaguar, and it's like
Jaguars.
We used to say, oh man, is that how you supposed to be saying? But yeah, God, talk to Paul Hope. Paul Hope will call it. Yes, it's the Jaguars.
Yeah. Yeah.
We being bougie. That's all, Red Jet. I wanted to show you this quick tidbit before we get out here, because I brought up the great Don Hudson, and he was my fourth quarterback all time, fourth receiver all time here. And this is a little stat from him: 4 touchdowns.
Oh, I know this guy.
And 5 extra points, 29 points by one player. He did it in 1 quarter, Wolfie. That's my third receiver all time. Or I think I said the third or fourth receiver.
Yeah,
Like Don Hudson. Who's Don Hudson? Don Hudson was a bad dude, man. Look at the helmet. I don't even know if that's the real one, but that's what they used to play in. Obviously, the guys ain't have much teeth, and you had to have a really good nose. No face masks on that thing. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that little bit on Don Hudson. He had numbers in the 30s and the 40s for the Packers, man. Don Hudson was real.
Yeah. When you told me about that, I was actually blown. I was like, damn, in the 30s too, doing all that, doing some, late 2000s stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
99 touchdowns. Yeah, I had to give him his respect.
Yeah, dude, that was dope. So the next goats. What do you want to do next?
We'll come back to the NFC and we'll go NFC North.
Okay.
Then AFC North. There going to be some really good ones there. So that's next up, and I guess it'll be in probably another week. I'm gonna take some time off, man. Probably starting tomorrow. I gotta get up there and see Mama and the family and stuff. I reckon they think I live in this YouTube. Me and Ellison ain't laid eyes on each other for, I don't know. Ellison, when was the last time we was at church? I think we had some for Uncle or something like that, or family reunion, something like that. So I just got to get back up to Richmond, man, check my peeps out and rejuvenate my batteries. I was starting to forget the small. When you start forgetting like little things, like where are my glasses? And they on your head. It's time to take a little break. You're doing too much, No,
I respect it. So you want to do the next show was, I'll bring up the calendar right now.
Probably be 2
once it loads. That'd be great.
2 Tuesdays from now, which will be as I put it on my Red Jet Shell calendar.
July 1st. Red Jet got you a calendar?
Red Jet has these tremendous calendars that she takes pictures all around the city of San Francisco. And if you want a Red Jet calendar, hit her up on her Instagram, InstaChat, Snapface, and all of that good stuff, Red Jet. Go ahead, drop your stuff, Red Jet. Let me find where my June at. I just had it, but I wanted to show some of the pictures. I like this one too. Look at that. Welcome to That's old school there. That's Candlestick when we was bad like that. Yeah, man. And she shoots all that good stuff. So we're looking at, today is the 17th. Yep, July 1. We'll be back. Me and you noon, July 1. I'm putting it in there. I'm inking it. Me and the Wolf.
Yeah, I just wrote that down. Put that on my calendar.
I'll probably be on the if you go live, you're going live with Stanley Cup and and the NBA, right?
Yeah, so tonight I'm gonna go game 6 of the Stanley Cup tonight at 5 o'clock. That's when puck. So like 5:10. That's when puck drops somewhere around there, and then Thursday game 6, and then obviously Friday would be game 7 if the Oilers can pull it off tonight. So
Yeah, that's when they say, if required, we'll be back Friday.
yeah,
That's
so
it.
really,
If,
but
if
I think both these teams are gonna take it. So
you got them finishing the night, you think it's gonna be over the
yeah,
moon?
it's.
Yeah.
It's like just real quick, I just think that the Panthers are just so much better than the Oilers. Like I said earlier, they need puck luck. They need a few bounces to go their way. They need some shots, some lucky shots to go in the back of the net. They're not going to win it just outright. They're not going to do that. They're going to have to. They're going to need the puck, like I said, the puck to bounce and get the net, and they're going to need to win. They need to get like 3 or 4 goals to beat the Panthers. The Panthers, without a doubt, are going to score at least 2 for sure.
Yeah.
So they're going to score like 3 or 4 goals. Then I'll believe that they can win it.
And then we'll have the NBA Thursday, right? With Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
It's going to be in Indiana, and I do think Indiana, if they're going to win it, it would have to be in their home court.
They're gonna have to do it. Yeah, they can force it. They're good. I think it's in Indianapolis. Yeah, it's gonna be in.
It's gonna be in Indianapolis, so they do have a chance because I do trust the base. I'm not a huge I'm not a huge home field kind of type person like that, but I do think that in basketball there might be something to that. With the Pacers, man, this series has shown that they fight hard in their field, in their home court, and so I think they might be able to pull it off. But once they go to OKC, man, from what I saw, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, they ratchet it up a bit. They ratchet it up a bit,
and I wouldn't be shocked. And this might be stupid, and this is probably not true, but there'll probably be like a Shea Alexander and Holmgren and all of them, Williams, whatever his name is, are all like, yo, let's just lose this game so that we can have our. So we can go ahead. We have game 7 at our place.
We just want to go to our place and play. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised to do some shit like that.
But that thing never works that way, dude. If you can get them, you better get them.
You better get them.
No, mess around to say, oh yeah, we'll just play hard. Go ahead, put the scrubs in. We be all right. All right.
we're not gonna bruise an ankle or anything like that. You want to play hard in this game? You go ahead. We'll try next one. But yeah, you gotta win it when you gotta win it. And do I think and I hope I'm not coming across as like these two teams, like the Panthers and OKC, are just going to win it outright. But if I was a betting man, I would easily put these two teams like, okay, they're winning it. Is what I would do. I really do hope Pacers.
OKC was heavily favored at the beginning,
Yeah, and dominant. They're supposed to go 4. They were supposed to win all 4 games straight out. So, like, it's like give a shout out to the Pacers, especially if the Pacers win this series.
Man, they've been hanging.
They've
been dogfighting. They've been dogfighting. That ain't nothing been easy. It ain't go like everybody thought it was gonna go. I know that they was like, yeah, OKC in 5. Oh, no,
you gotta give them credit, man. You gotta give them credit. So.
All right, bro. Well, I'll try to jump on with you, or I might just be in the chat tonight. You're
always welcome, man. Whatever you want to do, brother.
I got CG Ruthless tonight, man. Right. I'll be on there with Professor Dion X, Shabazz Mortimer.
Sounds like a rapper.
Yeah, that's Dion, man. Professor Dion X. He's going to be talking to the people tonight about the atrocities that's going on here. Kyle Shanahan don't like black greenskeepers, and I'm going to prove it tonight on CG Ruthless. I get into it. So, hey, man, you'll be on tonight, going live for NHL. If y'all want to check my man out, I'll be on with CG tonight. I'm gonna get a nap so I don't nod them off, and I'm gonna be out of the net for a week or so. I'll be back. You know how it is, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'll be back with Wolfie definitely July 1, 3 days before the 4th of July. So bring your fireworks unless something major develops. And they just said, hey, Cincinnati let all their defensive players go and the 49ers signed them all. I'll jump on, but if it ain't that, I ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, this is the time. This is the time to take a break. Theoretically, like this is
supposed to be the chill season right now.
The coaches, GMs are all taking a break, and there's like nothing's supposed to be happening. This is their time to get off before they,
rejuvenate, because it's gonna be a sprint to the end, boy. We're gonna be running until February.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of content, it's gonna be crazy. So it's, we also content creators have to take a break. Larry Kruger's even taking a break, sort of. Apparently, he was on not to go on another rant here, but apparently Larry Kruger is on vacation right now.
Okay,
but he had to do breaking news about the Devers trade or whatever it was for the Red Sox.
Okay,
and he's still making videos on vacation. And it's like, bro, just take a vacation. Jesus, not that deep. Like I understand that you love making content, but enjoy your wife and your kids.
yeah, because they'll turn on you. They'll be like, we resent you. It's always them first. I know how it is, man. But you gotta, a man got to work.
Yeah, for sure. He loves. I'm not doing it, but he freaking he does not stop, dude. He's like constantly putting on content. It doesn't matter what it's about, dude. Even about the long snapper.
And it's becoming the family business too. You got the son all involved. And,
it's his executive producer.
Yes, sir.
It's hard to say.
There it is. They're going to win a Peabody one of these days. All right, bro. Well, remember, everybody, thank y'all all for tuning in. I got 20 at this point. It has been wonderful. Hope y'all were entertained. The great Wolfie is my co-host. Red Jet Shell, shout out to you. Strawberry Reacts, Crazy Juice. Ellis is in the house. Kylie Young. Val B, what it is, Val B. We had, I'm scrolling. Tommy Huxley came by, Ty Austin. All of y'all in here, man. Everybody who had a good time. Miss Tanisha was in this piece. Thank y'all so much. And Strawberry Reacts, holla out, shout out to you. Karen Hardy. Hey, Karen Hardy. Thank you so much for coming by. Everybody, I hope we had a good, entertaining show. Y'all might have learned something, might have not learned something, mad at something, investigating debates. Papa J's my main man. Good to see you. I will be seeing y'all again soon. Ty Austin, shout out to you in the Light Skin Brigade. And remember, we walk by faith and not by sight. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank y'all so much. Good day and God bless. See y'all a little bit later.
Bang, bang, gang, baby.